Hey, hope you're all having a nice Friday evening and a nice start to the weekend. I know we streamed yesterday already, but I'm actually quite into cities again. Now we've gotten a new patch and our save works fine again. Because again, I've been complaining about it a little yesterday. But I think after bridges at ports, unless you were playing in easy saves, you were not having a good time, especially in older existing saves. And gladly they fixed that, so now I'm loving it again. So we're back right away and we're gonna finish what we started yesterday. Or not started yesterday, actually, we started this a long time ago. But we did a lot of progress on this yesterday, and I hope, I'm fairly certain that we are probably gonna finish this area today. So looking forward to it. I did a little of the boring things yesterday after stream while cooling down, and I recolored the vehicles and finished up those slots here. Which on stream I was pretty goddamn slow doing that, but then turns out if you're not constantly reading chat in the meanwhile and you're actually focusing while you're playing, then you can actually get things done a whole lot quicker. Then this, how is it called again? I always forget this. High voltage, this is the one we want. Maybe actually this is not the one and is a tad bigger. I'm never sure with these cables. I think we want a low voltage one. And why we have two versions of this, I also don't understand. I placed both of them and they look exactly the same to me. I can not make out any difference. So again, not entirely sure why they are different in the first place. I guess so. I think it's other people here, but you're the first to talk at least. And welcome in, Gaga. Hope you're having a nice Friday. This is so finicky. Every time we do this, I get slightly annoyed by it, but then it has to be done. Come on, please, let me select the other ones as well. And how are you doing today, Gaga? Have you been properly playing your city again since the patch? Because to be honest, I think it's really fun again. Now it works. Like, I was really tilted after bridges and ports, but now all of this is at least mostly working again. I'm happy to be playing again. This is gonna be so finicky again. I hate working with these net lanes. Let's see if we can kinda cheat our way here. Is this the top layer? I think this is the top layer. I'm gonna try something here. This might not be exactly what we want, but I think if I'm not messing up here, then this does not look correct already. Oh, actually, this might be correct, because they are very weird in limit. Oh, well, I'm sure you will notice the same as me. Like, I really think they did fix all of the bugs appropriately that they said they had. At least when I tried around with my city, I seem to be perfectly fine again, which, again, I'm very happy about. The one thing I did notice is that I had to actually run my game quite long, like longer than I would have anticipated for this to work out correctly. Well, I mean, it's a Friday. I generally think my streams in Friday are less crowded than when I stream during the week, because I don't generally stream in the weekend. And welcome in Red Unity. In fact, I guess for you, because you're still fairly new to my channel, this probably is the very first time you're properly seeing our build. which is this. And since I just started and we're little people, I might as well give you a little tour of this place so you will have an idea. I mean, never say sorry for not watching, only ever watch if it's fitting and you feel like it, but no worries. So this is in general, Los Vagos is our build, and this is where Los Vagos originally started. It's a very weird kind of rednecky trailer home kind of vibe. Don't worry, we're not the bad kind of rednecks. We're very tolerant and open here, but rednecks regardless. And we have things like these weird rebuilt train wagons as homes, or with crazy people with skate parks in the background and all kind of things like that. And this is the very first parts of our build, where we kind of put the vibes down and figured out what we want to do. And then since it's actually grown quite heavily, we have things like, I don't know, a cool bike club, which I guess Gaga would disagree that they're cool, because Gaga owns the scooter club and will probably say the scooter club is a lot cooler than the biker club. But this is the biker club. This is a show of how, I guess, rednecks know how to live as well. Just because you're redneck does not mean that you can't live in a nice mansion. It's just a special kind of place. I mean, we have a downtown. I think Los Vagos wholeheartedly is pretty close to being done. In fact, this is, well, not really downtown. This is my small and humble residence as a major, because I think for a city this big, this is the bare minimum of what I deserve to govern these people from. Some people say asphalt roads would be a better investment than a giant palace in the middle of the city. As a major, I can only say I wholeheartedly disagree with that take. I think dirt roads do perfectly fine. I think it's way more relevant that we have a nice palace with some cute parks everywhere. And holy shit, 10 stream streak, Gaga. That's actually, I think, is especially impressive in somebody like me, because I don't stream on a schedule, so it's not like you can make sure to catch my streams. So impressive. And I guess this is our downtown. I rant about this a lot when I stream, but again, since we're little people, now I can give you the same rant I've done 1,000 times. And Gaga is probably gonna roll his eyes. Also, can clean up here real quick, because why are these here? Yeah, away please. But I think scale is a very big thing in this game, right? And I think the scale is something that people, I wouldn't say want to say doing wrong in this game, but I'm gonna say I'm doing scale a bit different than the majority of people. I think there is also quite a few creators that would agree with me, like Sully or $2.20, I think plays very similar to me in that regard as well. And it's that scale has to be compressed, right? Like, what I say a lot is that real life is big and real life is interesting, very interesting in parts, but there also is a lot of really boring filler space, especially if you look at US cities. Something like, I'm gonna give you a good example. Something like this. We have a very, very big mansion-y, kinda elegant area of the city here, right? I don't think this gets any better if I make it bigger. Because yes, in the reality, there will be a lot of a bigger area than this in the city. But unless it tells more story, in my build, it does not deserve more space, because I think it needs to be dense and it needs to tell a story, right? So something like this deserves space because it tells a lot, right? And it brings a lot of vibe and character. This is some like open air kinda art gallery slash flea market, I guess. And stuff like this, I don't mind if they get big, but then generally I love really compressing things and kinda cooking them down to the most relevant parts of a build. And I think that makes Los Vagos both look very realistic, because I think if you actually look at our city, I think this looks pretty realistic. If you think about Los Vagos a bit closer and you look at it in a bit more detail, I think it's very much unrealistic, right? Like, for example, this industry area here, or quarry and mine, that's like, I don't know, half the size of the entirety of Los Vagos. So, very interesting, I think. Did they? I've not yet looked at a new park. Actually, that's one thing I wanted to look at still. And welcome in, Jay. Nice to see you. I have not yet looked at a new park. Actually, that's something we can do together really quick, because I'd also be interested. I checked out the lighthouses because I was interested in them for the other map. Not like we have much use for the lighthouses here in Los Vagos, but still curious. I wish, but it's also technically wrong, I wish at least shortly after these new things come out that they would have an own filter, because all of the stuff, this is new. I guess this is the one to me and Jay. I guess we'd have to plop this to see the sunken part of it. Let's go into some flat area. I like it. That's very cute, actually. I would redo all of the vegetation, obviously, but the general style of this is great. A tad too fancy. The one thing I don't like so much is this illuminated. For that looks a bit like it's gonna shine during the night, and if so, I'm not loving that. It looked so shiny. Suddenly it doesn't look so shiny anymore, and no, it does not seem to be illuminated, apparently. I don't know why I thought during the day it looked really neon-y in the light. But yeah, I guess it isn't. But yeah, cool park, I like this. They added a few of them that are new, right? There should be... Oh, this is also new, I'm sure. I've never seen this. I love that they are doing more things with elevation. I think this is really cool as well. I hate the pre-made details here. I would remove all of that stuff out. But this is great. This is so shabby. Like, this is not the style they went for, but I would make this a really shitty, rundown, shabby plaza. I think actually these kind of plazas is something that, especially in older parts of Germany and eastern parts of Germany, I think you see quite a lot of these, and they are really rundown generally. So I don't know, if I see this kind of park, I think rundown immediately. These we all had, I believe. Maybe this is also new, but I believe we had all of these other ones. This we also had. This, oh, these, yeah, I looked at none of these. I've seen these in the trailers, but yeah, we kind of skipped bridges and ports. So I actually have seen none of these cute small... Sorry, I'm just going over quick because I find it really difficult in the small pictures to see which we had already and which we didn't. But yeah, all of the new kind of fair things we have not had a single look at. This one is so curious, I didn't even realize they put that weird bicycle park in as well. This I've read about, this we're definitely gonna use. I hate the ground part here, but this is a really great base to turn this into a pretty park. So this one really cool, I like it a lot. The vegetation, again, we would replace all of that, but very cool. And this, oh, Jay, you probably looked at everything in the editor already. Is this a single mesh? If so, what a gorgeous little thing. I hope we can plop this, especially together with these. I never know how they are called in English. I call them light chain because that would be the direct translation from German. But I'm certain it's not actually called light chain in English. So not sure. But I love this. I think this is beautiful. I wish we would have that as its own item, just by itself. Like just these lights to put onto things. But yeah, I'm certain we don't have that. But if we'd have the building by itself, that would be great. Ah, we do. Oh my god, guys. Am I the only one? This is so cute. I love this thing. We're so gonna use this in many parts. That fits the vibe of Los Vagos so well. Wholeheartedly amazing. I love the entire park, but these small things, I love it. That is an absolutely amazing asset. This is the one we had before, I believe. I think this is the one we had already. Yeah, all of this we had. And is there any other new ones? I've looked at... Oh, this is definitely new as well. So many sunken things. I actually love that. Because yeah, you're right, Jay. I would have probably never built that sunken thing by myself if we would have had these already. This one is really cool as well. I love these stairs with these planters. Great combination. The bridge and the thingy here, I'm not gonna say I find it particularly beautiful, but it's interesting and cool for sure. The tile, sadly, I'm not a big fan of. Do we have variation of those? We take these thing and use colored. Okay, no, the tiles are all the same. Does not matter. Still really cool. These we had. Oh, these are all of the new bridges and ports one that I guess everybody beside me has seen. Do we have access to all of these by itself? We should in the ploppables, right? Because I imagine with all of the parks they've been adding from the Bridges and Ports DLC, we can totally build our own little fair somewhere. We can place these by ourselves. That's so cute, and I love these animated. That makes such a difference to the entire visuals. Is that just me? I think this is so cute. They even go up and down. They don't even circle. They actually do what they do at the proper fairs. That's so cool. I absolutely adore these. Are these gonna shine? If these light bulbs are shining during the night, I'm gonna get really excited. Please. Please turn on. Sad. Well, even without them lighting up, I think this is a great asset and beautiful. Careful, I'm gonna untoggle this, but yeah, surprising that we're wholeheartedly, I would have expected that they turn on with a look of this. And yeah, these buildings, all I've seen these in the streams of other people. These are all amazing, really. Yeah, I love all of these new parks. I've not looked at the ploppables yet, but we do have these by itself, no? Because if so, wholeheartedly, we need to build some kind of fair. And all of these we had, I think. Yeah, none of this looks new to me. This is a big one. Yeah, all of this we had. Still, really, really cool. Wholeheartedly loving the new things we've been getting. Some of these are a great... Yeah, Sarky made a ploppable of the Bridges and Ports. I already downloaded that as well. But I'm not sure how does it behave with the things that gotten added in the update, because their base game, right, like what we've gotten from the bicycle patch, is not technically a DLC, I guess, but is base game, so I guess that belongs into the vanilla plop build. Why do we have this here? I guess I try to show something about water physics. Also, talking about water physics, this is one of the things that we have not yet done, but I think we can do. I tried around with it. I think the new water sources work perfectly fine, but now comes the butt kicker. They work fine on all of the water sources from the rivers that gotten placed in the map by itself. It absolutely does not work fine for the custom water sources that we place by ourselves. So to convert the water is not many in our build, luckily. But I think we'd have to get rid of all of this water, this, and this one. And then after we done that, I think we can convert. I'm not sure if that is something we need to do on stream though, that generally... No, that's what I'm saying. I did not yet. I tried around shortly after the Bridge and Ports DLC dropped, because I thought we were gonna play the game, but then it was so buggy that, no, I didn't really play Los Vagos, so I didn't properly fix it yet. Maybe that is something we're gonna do today, depending on how fast we are with what we're doing here. But again, I want to finish this area mainly today, and I don't think we need that much more, because as you can see, I finished all of the parking lots. We need to place and recolor some of these still, but the boring base stuff is done. One of the things I definitely want to do, because the more I think about it culturally, at least in my head, I think... Yeah, I know. It works perfectly fine. I tried the updating before. It's no problem. The only issue is that what I just said, the sources that I placed, not the one that Rafterman placed in the map, so the few water sources in Los Vagos we have, they all are flooding. So if I just convert now, we will drown in Los Vagos. So I need to remove all of the custom sources, then convert, then replace the custom ones. Maybe we'll do that later if we're quick with this. But what I was gonna say, and maybe that's just in my head, but whenever I went to the US, I feel like people from the US are very awkward about toilets. I don't know why, but it's something you don't really talk about. Even just saying toilet seems weird in the US, and they say stuff like, where is a kitchen, or how do we find a washroom, or anything to not have to say toilet. So I figured they need a bit more privacy. I did not like how the toilet houses were so openly visible from the cinema. Not only for privacy reasons, but also because toilet houses are not particularly beautiful. So I figured we actually detail this up a little and bring them a bit more privacy and move them to the back a little, and we can even build some cute little paths and green space around it to keep them a bit more hidden. And I guess in a context like this, generally that's more realistic as well. I mean, yes, you make a good point, and I also think that's probably not as accurate anymore. A lot of my US experiences are fairly long in the past, and I'm sure quite a bit has changed as well. But yeah, I found it fascinating how much that is something that people try not to talk about. So to give them some proper privacy, we are gonna move those back here in the past. And Jay made a good point some time ago, because Jay said what would be pretty cool to have, and I actually agree, would be toilet signs. Because I believe we don't have any signage for toilets. I have so many different projects I'm working on right now that I doubt I'm gonna manage anytime soon. But I think toilet science is a great legal idea. Maybe I'll kick my ass and get to that, but currently I don't think I have the capacity for it. But I very much agree with Jay that toilet signs would be cool to have because they are so generic, right? There are so many good reasons and places to use them for. I mean, yeah, I guess we can use El Gando's biohazard signs. Not a horribly bad idea. In fact, we're gonna do that right now. This is exactly what we need. If you wanna, I mean, for public toilets, this actually seems like a very appropriate warning and one that we should have in real life as well. This is great signs as well. This is for the female toilet and this is for the man toilet. And in both of them, you get an appropriate warning to better bring your gas mask, which I think every public toilet should probably have that warning label. I'm curious, Gaga, how's the situation in France? One of the things that I always realize where Germany is very bad in, like very noticeably bad compared to the rest of Europe, is public toilets. Do you have good public toilets in France, and are they free to use? Because Germany both has a very bad public toilets in the outsides, as well as if we do, they always cost money, and you have to pay like a euro or something to use the restroom. And whenever I'm in the UK, I'm like, holy shit, like in the UK, it feels like every bigger subway station has free, very clean, well taken care of restrooms that you can just use. And in Germany, that's literally unthinkable of. Or at least in my region of Germany, that's not common at all. And I mean, as a guy, I guess not the end of the world. Oh yeah, ad break. I'm gonna wait real quick. There's already enough privacy. Maybe we want this even more hidden. I think we wanna cover this up even better. Something like this. I think that looks a lot cuter than what we had before. The question is, are Americans so lazy that we even need a few parking lots here? I guess they can manage to walk that little bit. So I'm gonna save on that at least. I'm gonna go through and place the rest of these here real quick. And yeah, I guess your like Asian countries in general are pretty good in that. I was also very positively surprised of the UK, to be honest, because I think in general the UK is a lot dirtier than Germany, and like in normal public spaces and cities, I think UK cities generally are less well taken care of and have more trash lying around and such. But then their public restrooms are super clean as well, surprisingly clean, honestly. I guess so. I have to admit, while I would love to, I have not really traveled much in Asia in my life. So it's one of the regions of the world where I have no first-hand experience from, which I would like to change in the future, but at least currently I cannot comment too much on that. And I mean, as a guy, it's always doable somehow, right? So not the end of the world, but I always realize when I'm out with my girlfriend how shitty the public toilet situation in Germany is, because realistically, as a woman, you have to ask in bars and cafes eventually if they are nice and let you use their toilet real quick, which not optimal, I guess. Japan is such a curious society to me. I've always been baffled by Japan being so well taken care and clean on the one hand, but then on the other hand, having such a very heavy alcohol abuse problem throughout society in general. That always baffled me, to be honest, because I think it's very contradicting by itself if you look at it, but then it's very normal in Japan. Yeah, I did find that hut from the park. I could use picker on it, and I love it. Absolutely stunning. It's called something sauna. I think we can find it if I just type sauna in here. And it's actually a prop as well, like not even, this outdoor sauna. I love this thing. What an absolute beauty. This is, if you were AFK and didn't see, look at it. Because it even has this very cute, again, I call it light chain, because I don't know the proper word for it. But this cute light chain hanging out here, and this nice patio. I adore this thing. Absolutely love him. In general, I just love small things that allow us to build our own complexes out of smaller ones. And this one is absolutely beautiful. Also expected that the prettiest asset from the new... The fishing huts, I've looked at the ploppables of those yesterday. They are so beautiful. I'm not sure if you guys have had time to look at these. Where did I even find those yesterday? I think quite a lot of them were... Where, in what category? Here, I'm silly. This one, goddamn is this stunning. This is like the literal best big ranch / farmhouse we have in the game. And all of the warehouses that came with a fishing DLC are also... These are so stunning, like wholeheartedly. I looked at all of these yesterday. I'm amazed. Like the quality of these new assets really is wonderful. I did not look at the shacks yet, to be honest. Do you know what I have to type in Finder to find those? I'm just gonna type shack. Oh, okay, actually that surprisingly worked. And welcome in, Lawrence and Obelix and Rezara. Hope all of you cuties are having a nice Friday evening. And yeah, god damn it, these are so they fit super well to the now one as well. This is such a cool... Oh, this one is stunning as well. But these, especially these smaller ones... Oh, and these are your custom assets, actually. But these three, together with a sauna one we just found, that makes for such a cute small resort somewhere in the mountains where people can hike up and then sleep in those huts up in the middle of the mountainside. Honestly, these are so cute. I wish we would have had any of those prior when we were building the mines, because really we would have definitely used some of them for the mines. I mean, yeah, also to chop up tourists, of course. That was my first association when looking at them, but I guess that works. And I don't know what to say about what you just said, Rizara. I don't think that's something you should voice as publicly. What is your team? Now I'm curious. Who are you following? Now you can give either correct or wrong answers, Obelix, and no pressure, but think well about what your answer is. I mean, I can allow it. Wouldn't be my first choice, but I can allow it. And obviously, just to have this realistic, there is not a woman's toilet in the world where there is not an absolutely annoyingly long line of women waiting in front. And then there is a mains toilet where we have a single guy who can go in there right away. Just to detail this up somewhat realistic, because this would be exactly how it would be looking in real life. Maybe we can have another guy who just is leaving already again. And we have an denying this. This is to add the proper realism. This is a guy waiting for his girlfriend. He finished going to the toilet 10 minutes ago, but then his girlfriend is still waiting in the end of the line. So now this is a proper realistic toilet scene. The only part we still need is some trash cans, I guess. Yeah, I mean, now this becomes interesting, because now you guys can find it out. Yes, these are the prop people. I love these prop people. I could not play. Oh, it's not can, it's bin, actually. I think they are a bit less mandatory, actually, because this patch has made the general usage and amount of people walking around a lot better. Like, your cities generally look more alive. But somewhere like here, they would have no reason to go, right? So unless we detail this up, there would be no people. So yes, definitely pro people, and I always recommend people to use those. Though, in all fairness, they also made a bit of an issue, because they broke after bridges and ports, and then you need to wait for them to get fixed up, which in our case, not so bad, because I did not like the patch anyway, so didn't wanna play. But if you would have wanted to play, you would have waited a bit for those to get patched up. I actually did not look at these. Are they added already? I have to admit, I did not change to the online updated ones. I'm still using the test version that Sully sent us in my Discord to check if they're properly fixed, and I have yet to change those to actual online version that he published since again. Yeah, we found this. Oh, actually, this is all new as well. They did not. A lot of these actually look a lot better than they used to. The kids did not have backpacks before. That's very curious. Do they all have backpacks now? Most of them. That's very curious. I did not realize that yet. But yeah, looks like the guys as well, I assume. Yeah, but I guess all of the school kids now have their backpack. I think that's actually pretty fitting. The one thing, obviously, that we're still missing is these to get proper animations in, but eventually we will. And take your time, Gaga, of course. And now there is one thing that I've been thinking the entire time about while we were building this, and I'm not sure what we're gonna try to do now is gonna work, but I wanna try, because I like movement, and I want cars to sometimes drive through here. The way we will try to achieve that is deleting a very few of those cars, not many, and going in here with invisible parts thing and domes parking lots. I assume probably right now we will not see much usage because this area in the rest is not super built out, so it's not that much reason for people to come up here. But that will change. We will keep working on this area and eventually we will give people enough reason to come here. So having said that, I wanna try if we can manage to bring people in here and have like, not many, just 3-4 parking spots. So every once in a while, we see some movement in here. Again, I've not tried this. We're trying this together. I have no clue if this is gonna work out. In my head, it works out great, but then my head is a bit of a special place. That does not mean it will actually work out in reality. But let's give it a try. I mean, we will get the ammunition will come, Jay. Don't worry. I have not forgot about your shooting range across the road. It will come, but as everything in Los Vagos, it takes time. I'm a slow builder. So you will have to have some patience. I think already now we can probably get some people to come here because we have some blocks in the area. So might as well get usage in here. Hi mate, welcome in. Are you back to playing cities after these recent patches? Okay, and I guess before we build all of this out in detail, I'm just gonna connect these up to see if we can get this to work on a single spot. Then if yes, we can finish this up a bit more appropriate. I've drawn this horribly. I think we're probably gonna have to replace that, but for now, good enough. And now we just want to connect this back up here. And this should be perfectly fine. Now we obviously have to make sure that we put the dome parking lots in spaces that we have connected to a line. So maybe, for example, this is a good spot. So let's try. Obviously, we want to take the invisible one, not the visible one. And I noticed, I'm curious if other people noticed as well, the connections of the dome parking lots and in general, the invisible connections seem a lot more finicky and sensitive since the last patch. I had to reconnect quite a few things in our build because they lost connection after the patch. So it feels like they changed something around those. But let's have a look if we can. Probably, again, I'm not sure if we get people to use this already because we need to place a few blocks and such still. But just to test the theory, please do us the favor, a single oh, there is a car coming. Are you gonna do us the favor? Please be the one. Oh, it's a police car. It's not the one. He's just patrolling. I mean, it makes sense because again, we don't really have any proper places here. What we could do to fix this up, kinda cheaty and easily for now, but just to get people to wanna come here, we are gonna take a single block and just throw it in there dirty. From this side, because here we obviously have those prop cars placed. And again, it's far away, so I'm not sure we will get to see somebody, but mostly parking spots actually see pretty good usage, even if they're kind of far away. So I'm somewhat hopeful. But all of the cars that I'm hoping for are turning somewhere left or right. So, not certain. Maybe we just have to detail a bit somewhere else and leave this for now and see if this works. Because I don't want to put many parking lots if we see zero usage here anyways. And Obelix, are you back into your main save? Oh, is that a cop again? And that's a road maintenance vehicle. Okay, we're just gonna detail something here and see if they come. Because for now, it does not seem like it. He comes in here, but he's just patrolling. He's just an officer. Because I assume you would also feel a lot better, because I'm just guessing here, but I would think that you probably also did not have a very good time after the last patch. Because the last patch in general was pretty rough for older saves. But I think all of that is past. This patch seems to really have fixed all of those issues that I had at least. Yeah, and I mean, for me it wasn't even that traffic was horrendous. I like a lot of traffic, I like traffic jam, but traffic was clearly bugged, right? Like, at least to me, it was very obvious that that is to a degree where it's not intended. And I just did not feel like having to rebuild half of my traffic infrastructure that I purposefully, very carefully managed to bottleneck. Because I like a lot of traffic and I think we have too little traffic, so I make my traffic pretty shit on purpose. And I did not want to unclog everything just so it looks empty after they fix all of the bugs again, so I just avoided it. The French gang all together in my chat. There is some pretty big figures in the... I'm so bad with the name, but every once in a while I see that there is a French streamer in the Cities community who pulls an amazing or a crazy amount of viewers. Like, usually when I check in, he's like 100 to 300 viewers. So I guess you have a few people in the French community that are not super in touch with the rest of the community, but actually pretty big figures. Something with a stinger or a stringer or something like that, I believe his name was. Maybe. Now I'm annoyed, now I can't figure the name. But I've seen him a few times. Yeah, enjoy your game, mate. Good. I would say good luck, but then I get in trouble with Rezara, so I cannot really wish good luck. So maybe good luck, maybe not, but enjoy the game, mate. Maybe actually Sylvian. It's something with S. So might be, huh? Well, okay, I guess then I can say what I want, because you don't care anyways. And now the question is, can we actually, because I really wanted to do that, because I think they were great. We have a second version of these in the, where do I find it, is a question. I think it's part of the cemetery. There is a bigger pond. This. Heck yeah, I love this. If we can lower this, this is literally finally an appropriate sized pool for backyards and not those kind of small children pools anymore. Yeah, I mean, with the rain and obviously we have to remove the plants. But I love it. That's so nice. I used to always build those by myself, by hand, and then just use the Elgando water surfaces. But then clearly you don't actually get these nice water effects with the Elgando water surfaces. So having actual vanilla alternatives for bigger pools, really, really appreciate it. I'm a big fan. And how is the loading times for you guys? Because I see very confusingly disagreeing opinions. I seen Gaga complain that his loading is super long. I heard multiple other people saying that their loading times are so goddamn fast since the patch. So I'm a bit confused because everybody seems to disagree with each other. And my own loading times don't really seem to have changed at all. I think it's literally just like it was before. Yuri's also gotten worse, you think, since this patch? I mean, in all fairness, they did add more assets, right? So your game has more things to load up and add to your game, but honestly surprised that you guys can feel that at all. Yeah, okay. I mean, to be honest, the Bridges and Ports, I played so little that I don't have much reference yet. My game crashed yesterday, which you guys are watching my stream every once in a while is very uncommon for me. It did not crash while streaming, but after streaming, I was like cleaning up some things in the save real quick and going over some things. And while I was doing so, my game decided to send me to desktop, which the last time I crashed must have been multiple months ago. So not sure, but yesterday while streaming and today so far my game's running solid, so not entirely sure what was up with that. I guess I could, but I generally like to have this kinda crowded, so I would delete those and then place more here later. So if I know I want to place more later, I just tend to move them around, which I'm not sure is quicker than the other way around, but I don't know, I'm usually doing it that way without saying is the right way to do it. Nah, quite the opposite. If you ever had much contact with kids, I absolutely love kids, so please don't misunderstand me. But you're happy to have some space away from kids as well. So really, if you can get them to not be with you for a moment and be somewhere else, then that is going to be very nice for you. So I disagree. If you wanna relax and space out at the pool, 10 out of 10 if your kids are playing there and you can see them, you're still doing your parental duty, but you don't have to be bothered by them. So really, this is the perfect layout. In fact, I think for a garden layout, this is honestly enough already. One thing that I'm not happy with is how little dense this is. These obviously would want to be a lot more hidden, so we're gonna go through here and plant a lot more plants around this lot, just so they get a bit more privacy, I would say. I mean, I get your point. The problem is we would have to elevate this thing in the back. Generally, I do get your point, and you're not wrong that this would be kinda lit to have. In fact, okay, James, now we're gonna turn this into a proper redneck pool. Thanks to you, and we're gonna put a slide here that obviously we're gonna have to build something under that so it's not flying. And we want more fitting things. What we want not only is, how's it called? Window. Is it ledge? Hedge. Is that the flat ones? Yes, these. Okay, and we want the long one. There is a tall one and a short one. This. And we want one that is as flat as possible. Some of these are pretty flat. Some of these are pretty not flat. Is there not one that has less structure than these? It feels like some of them were even... This one is very flat. Okay, this one we like, but we don't want the short one, we want the tall one. This, nice. Okay, we take this. We put it down here. We built this once in the past, and I think this is actually something we should build a lot more, because I love the way this is gonna look. Bear with me. Something like this, and the turn radius is not optimal as well. We wanna turn it around like this a little, and now bring it in the middle and to the front, and I should have aligned these better. Something like this, and now we move it slightly upwards. I guess that already kinda works. And now obviously we need to turn this to white to actually give this the correct look, and maybe not as bright as that was. But is that not something that rednecks would appreciate? Yeah, no, the kitties are allowed to come in here. I'm fine with that. Now again, the only thing we need to fix up properly is to find something that works appropriately behind this here as a stand on top, which maybe somebody has a good idea what we can use. I don't right now. I guess just some, maybe, actually, hold on, J, wall. Maybe we can just use these and make a few steps out of those very quickly and dirty. I think that should work perfectly fine. Though that one is a tad too big, this one is better. We have a slimmer version of it. Is this a short one already? Well, okay, then the steps are a bit wider. We don't really mind. And we are gonna have to adjust this a little with transform tools as well, I believe. I mean, these steps are definitely a tad too high, but kinda. I think we can make this work. Maybe we put 4 steps instead, something like this, I guess. Be good. Oh, and I hate it. There is a decal here, so I can't target that lower stairs. Let's see if move it can do it accurately enough for us, else we're gonna have to move it up, and now we can target it and move it back down. I know that Triton said he's looking into a way to maybe change or give us a way to be able to filter what your cursor jumps on. I would be so happy if he can find a way, because this is probably the most regular issue I run to in this game, is that I can't target what I want because we have too many things in our build. I mean, this gap here looks a bit weird, but then does that fit for rednecks to build it like this? It totally does fit for rednecks. So I think I'm happy with this wholeheartedly. The one thing we're definitely missing, because I somehow managed to scroll over it, is tables. So let's grab a table real quick. What kind of boxes? I mean, we can also close this off entirely if we feel the need for that, but then I kind of like that this looks very dangerous, because I would guess that is fairly appropriate for the people that live here. I guess so. I've not looked at those. How do we find those yet? The fishing. I've not looked at any of those. Are they in the industrial tab as well? It's where I would expect them to be at least, but I guess not. Maybe in the vanilla industrial tab. Here is some of them actually. I don't find that particularly fitting, but honestly, any random elements make stuff a bit less tidy are welcome. But yes, something like this actually is fairly nice. It's a bit weird, but who cares? It's Los Vagos. People do weird things here. We're not gonna judge them for it. This one actually is really nice. I wish this one would be a little smaller. This one is even bigger, but we're just gonna cheat this and sink it into the ground. Nobody can see that anyways. We have pallets. We have empty pallets. Like if I just want an empty pallet, then that's fine. But I actually like the thing on top of it. I mean, we have smaller ones of these, but a bit finicky to use. But we have the picnic blanket, and I hate this. Now this one is gonna have a blue outline till we hover over it, and I cannot hover over it because it's too low. We're just gonna live with that pink or that blue outline. I don't care really. Yeah, no, sadly we can't filter for, or yes, we can filter for the bridges and port stuff, but I'm actually struggling a bit how to find all of the newly added things, because they are all base game, right? All of the newly added stuff has no own filter or anything, cause it's practically base game stuff, because we've gotten it for free. And I think that makes it actually a bit annoying and complicated to have a look at the newer stuff, because I have no clue on how to find them easily. And I wish we could put somebody on the sliding down, but we can't. But what we can actually do is maybe... Well, I guess we don't have kids in bath close, so we're gonna take an adult instead. You get the honor to jump from here. Don't we have a... I think we do. Now I want to have a look. Don't we have a water ball as well? Didn't we get one of those? One of those very thinly blown up golf, basketball. I mean, the basketball while we're here already. Oh, and they added that. Jay, another pack of your that's obsolete now, I guess. That is new. We did not have access to those prior. We would have had to use Jay's. But these also... The heck? Maybe I take it back, because this ball... It must have some property that makes it behave weird. Because you guys see this, right? We don't have snap to surface, so we're just doing this randomly. I guess it has a bouncy property where it randomly goes somewhere close to where you place it. Because yeah, see, if I place it here, it keeps bouncing around. Very curious. Not entirely sure what's there, but yeah, I guess we have... Oh, look at this! When I hover over them, they move like the animals. How do we even manage to Oh! I mean... I guess it's a fun better bulldozer challenge, at least to delete all of them again. Yeah, but look at this! Every time you hover it, it moves position. Like, we moved it a fair bit by now. That's very curious, actually. Not sure why that is happening. And I guess I did not pay attention here, and Jay is gonna complain again that I'm moving them instead of deleting them, but I wanna move them instead of deleting them. We need to obviously let these people... They don't need a flawless court, but they maybe not as overgrown as it just was. But yeah, Funky, I take it back, because your ball does not do all of those weird things, so if it keeps working like this, then that's strange. And what does it mean? Like, I get what it means when you say that, but I don't even or know what it actually means for the game. That they're activity props, what does that change? Yeah, sadly, it is very noticeable that the LODs of the Sims gotten quite a bit worse. I guess they've been generally making the LODs lower quality, and people have seen or been seeing better performance, so I guess fair, but also a bit sad that they have to. Because they definitely see how much closer the close despawn. That used to happen in the past as well, but nowhere near as early. Like, we're still very close to them, and already they start fading out, so this has definitely sadly become worse than prior. Is there other good props? Because you guys been telling me a lot of nice things to check out. I mean it when I say I pretty much had no look since Bridges and Ports. I looked at a few things. I looked at the old town buildings, but the majority of new stuff I've not yet seen. So if you have any recommendations for your favorite new things, then gladly tell me and we're gonna have a look at it. Guess probably put one here as well, and then we're gonna take this one and bring it around this side as well. And I think that looks a lot cuter than it did before. The one thing that really still annoys me is how little privacy they have. Yeah, same for me. I guess you were struggling with the same thing, Friedrich, right? Because I really feel like many of the, like, especially passionate long-term players that have, like, long ongoing projects that they want to dive back in and play. We all had such a shitty experience after Bridges and Ports that it feels like most people just did not really play in that time. And I'm one of those as well, so same, but now the game seems very fun again, so no more complaints. Was very curious because I think a lot of people also had a great time after Bridges and Ports, but they were in the majority new saves, and new saves didn't really suffer from that. Or yes, they also did suffer from that, but since it's a new save and you have low population and you can freely adjust all of your traffic from the get-go, it wasn't really a problem for those. Or was there another reason for you not playing? Maybe it also has nothing to do with what I just said. I would imagine that that had a part in it, at least. In here, they don't really need much privacy anymore, because it's themselves anyways. And we don't need this to be like a dense hedge or something, but at least so not all of the theater viewers or visitors have perfect view onto them. This looks a lot better from here already. Did you try again? Did you try again with better or Plop the Grobels? Because yes, Plop the Grobels had an issue in the first day when the patch dropped, but already in the evening they fixed that. I had the same problem, but for me that went away. So I would be surprised if your crash actually is Plop the Grobels related. I sadly would guess that it's something different that crashes you and then just waiting won't help you. Yeah, I think it's another mod, because I'm using Plop the Grobels with 0 issues right now. The railway, I have not heard anybody complain about having issues with that, so I don't know what that could be about. But the crashes that people had with Plop the Grobels initially, they definitely gotten solved. I don't. Like, I've been running my game for so long, I've seen you write that, Gaga. But it would be very obvious if we'd have buildings level in Los Vagos, and I can 100% tell you I have nothing leveling in this city. I've been running it for so long, so At least in my save, ploptic robots have been absolutely flawless. What I had to do a lot in my city, and it actually confused me quite a bit, is reconnect invisible networks. I had a shitload of these invisible networks disappear in my save, these ones here. And in general, a lot of these also caused connection issues. When I loaded back to Los Vagos after the save, I had a lot of domes, parking lots, and Starqueue's building blocks that we connected with those invisible passes complain about a missing connection as well. It wasn't so many, so I didn't mind fixing it, because I don't think that is gonna get fixed from modder side at all. So I don't think waiting would have made any sense there. And just to make sure, Friedrich, you know, but yeah, no, they should also not crash us. There is 3 packs of J that needed updating after the heck? Sir? What the heck? There is no road here, what is he doing? He didn't have an accident or anything. Oh, yeah, I guess he did have an accident. But how? What the heck? It didn't run into anybody either. It was literally by himself. Went off the road. I don't think I've seen a crash like this before. I've seen many crashes where they run into each other, but not just somebody losing control of his vehicle, sliding off the road. Interesting. My road conditions are pretty good, I believe, at least. Maybe I'm lying. They're very bad in exactly this area here, I guess. So makes sense, he crashed exactly there. But generally, my road condition is flawless outside of this area down here, because this is too far away from any proper road connection, so they don't like that area back here. But yeah, that's actually curious, because you make a good point. He literally crashed right in those 2 spots here where the road condition is not optimal. What do you mean it's not connected? This should be connected, fairly sure. And this is also connected. This goes up all the way here, all the way here, all the way. The problem is, and that makes sense, this is a dirt road, right? And dirt... No, it is... The issue here is not a connection. The issue here is a distance. Because of this being a dirt road, they don't like to drive it, and it's generally difficult. So the coverage goes right up to here, pretty much. And then after that, they consider this too far away. What would already fix this issue is if we replace the road up until here, for example, with an asphalt road. Because then they mind the distance less, right? They just care, because this is, but I don't care about that area yet, so I don't mind. But it would be fine if we just replace it with asphalt roads, and we should have a fine connection again. The one thing that sadly is noticeable is that our parking lot that I was having so much hope in getting used here is absolutely not seeing any usage, which again is fair because we don't really have much reason for people to come here. So we're gonna put a second. Actually, then we have to bring the... Yeah, no, I don't want to bring the road all across here. We're gonna be a bit cheaty and put a block in here in one of those ticket booths, because yes, people would and should build tickets, and I care about people coming. Is this... I asked this in the last stream already. Have a nice evening, mate. Enjoy your weekend as well, and don't do too many of what you said before. You need to be a good kid, okay? But have yourself a nice weekend. Is this something that people have a lot as well since the last patch? Because I always had a bit of issues because our city is so undense with having a few of them, but prior to this, I maybe had like 3 or 4 or 5 of those in Los Vagos, and now both Los Vagos as well as this is entirely covered. But I have another very weird issue happening since the patch, and it's my airport. And I need to ask Starkey about this, because for some reason, after the access, every single element in my airport, even the runway, they're now all complaining about no car access. But they all did not have, none of this ever had car access, right? It's an airport. So there was no cars being allowed anywhere here. But since the patch, every single element in the airport is complaining about it. It still works. We still have planes take off and land. So it doesn't seem to cause any issues. But I still wanted to ask Starkey if he knows how I can fix this easily. Maybe I just need to replace it, but I did use asset updater mod on all of Starkey's packs, I think. So you also had to replace a lot of access. Okay, that I'm curious with, because I also had to replace a lot of access. But yeah, I have a heavy issue of lack of customers in my entire city. Yeah, the dome parking, it now seems to need the passes a lot closer than before, which really not a big problem. We can just put them closer, but it definitely changed the behavior slightly. And I guess we're gonna leave this with that single one for now, because I'm definitely not getting anybody to park here, which I'm not sure why, but a little sad. I think we can change that when we start building on the area of J, because once we have more here across, maybe some people living here and a shooting range and a gun store, then I guess we should get more usage for parking. Did we connect that one up already? I think we did, but I want to recheck. Yes, we did. Okay. Yeah, then I want to place a few more of Gaga's scooter gang here, because this is Gaga's, and then I think we're pretty much done with the drive-in theater itself, and we're gonna move up to finish up that other house with close to it as well. Jay, calm down. You will get your ammunition. I heard you. If we have an ammunition already, I think we actually have multiple ammunitions in our city already. So it's not like we don't have a gun store. I agree. If we build you a shooting range, yes, that shooting range should also have a gun store, because it fits, but it's not like we don't have gun stores in our city yet. We're in US build, of course we have gun stores. Can we find any easy fitting one for these? Find a very small one. We could put it here at the bottom and just delete the sign in the top. But I think all of mine are gonna be too big for this. Maybe actually, where is it? Southern Suites might be small enough. Nope, none of these are small enough. Then we have a few alternatives that maybe we could use on the top. This we could actually use on the top. I hate the background, so not really. Yeah, no, we're gonna use other ones. I think Solis actually fit on this by itself, and it's the US, so if there is one thing that always goes, it's Taco Bell, and I think one of these is a perfect fit for these signs. This one, I know it's unrealistic. I know Taco Bell would not have a truck like this. Do we care? In Los Vagos, they do have food trucks as well, and who's gonna tell me otherwise? But yeah, the customers, I'm not entirely sure how to solve that yet, because we have quite a lot of people living close to it. I guess I generally have too much commercial for the amount of people we have in our city. Though it's a bit weird, because well, I guess not anymore, but prior to this patch, our commercial demand was always full. So I guess I overbuild it a little. I'm not mad about it, because generally I prefer building residentials over anything else. So honestly, not a problem for us in the slightest. But I noticed, at least for me, it was very obvious that after this patch, I know that many people complained about a very heavy population drop. And yes, I also had a very heavy population drop, but my population grown from this patch. You need to let it run quite long. Like, I literally let my game run an entire night after the patch, because I did not let it run at all after Bridges and Ports. So I wanted to be sure that it properly balances out. And originally, I lost a shitload of my population. But then in the next morning, I literally had a bigger population than prior to the patch. So in case you are losing population and you just started, don't panic about it. It will definitely recover. Just give it a bit of time. At least in my experience, it should recover. What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, it's true. It's true. That's why I said I let my game run a lot, because yes, I skipped one patch. It's why I think it needed to balance out especially long in my save. So you're not wrong pointing that out. But I've seen a lot of people complain about that. Like, I've seen many people say they lost so much population initially. And I don't think that was from Bridges and Ports, because I don't think people complained about that in Bridges and Ports, if I'm not mistaken, at least. Yeah, I mean, it's normal, of course. Especially now, I do think it actually makes troubleshooting things a bit more complicated for, well, Ice Flakes or Colossal Order, whoever does it in future. But having the normal and difficulty saves makes it a bit more harsh for them to find errors, because maybe it just happens in some of the saves due to being different difficulty or something. So again, this time the easy saves seem perfectly fine. So I guess they just didn't spot it because they were looking more at these. And it's also not, well, I'm gonna wait for the, oh no, Jay is up, so I can answer to Jay even in the outbreak. When I say I did not play, that is correct, but it's not like I did not let my game run after Bridges and Ports as well, right? I tried to play Los Vagos, and then I fairly quickly gave up on it, because it was obvious for me that the traffic is so bugged, and I did not want to bother with it. But I did let my game run as well, and looked at the simulation, and looked how things behave, so it's not like I have not seen what the save or what the Bridges and Ports patch did to my save. I just then did not save it because I was so annoyed by the traffic bugs. Yeah, again, it is fair, but I do think since I looked at it before, I think I generally know what comes from what. I'm always pretty amazed by how long some of the changes actually take to get into the game. Like, especially with some of the simulation changes. It feels like you actually need to run the game for kind of an entire generation sometimes for changes to properly get affected for the simulation, which makes sense that some of the changes actually change from generation or people have to move in and out, but I'm wholeheartedly surprised by how long it sometimes takes, at least. All right, Gaga, are you happy with the amount of security by your biking gang you have here, or are you asking for even more biking girls? Cause I have a feeling we should place a few more people closer to the cars as well, because I guess not everybody is at all times in their car. But otherwise, besides filling this one up here as well, I think we're pretty much done with this build, which it's been a while. We've been starting this prior to bridges and ports and then didn't play, so it's not like we didn't take a while for this. Deliver what things, Gaga? Do you be careful what you say, you will get in trouble with the law. Unless, Gaga, you were willing to bribe me. Gaga, you know what instead is gonna happen with what you're saying. This all seems a bit sketchy to me, so you know what's happening. Where is your headquarters? This is your headquarters, right? Gaga, you did this to yourself. Don't complain about what is happening now. I take absolutely no responsibility for this. This is your doing and your criminal activities that force me to take this as a consequence and action. I don't wanna do this to you, but do you leave me a choice? I don't think you do. So sadly, Gaga, instead of people delivering things, you get something else. Maybe they deliver you something nice, I don't know. But you did this. Don't complain about any of this, please. Asking the mayor of the city to put stuff delivered here. You wholeheartedly shot yourself in that leg, Gaga. Maybe if we talk about something, I don't know, maybe a cute little gift you can buy me or something, then I might have a talk with my police chief to let you be a bit more free again. But right now, I don't see you having a good time here. They're gonna raid the door here right away. And some probably also here in the front to make sure the girls cannot hide anything. And now, after the police is here, Gaga, I also don't mind. If you want stuff delivered here, sure. You get whatever you want delivered here. If you get in trouble, that's not on me. That's on your things you're getting delivered here. And welcome back home, Sunny. How was your trip? Welcome in. I mean, fair, but you better have kept one to bribe me properly. Because I would like one of those, please. What is missing still? I'm struggling here. We could do more things, but I actually wholeheartedly think, beside a few themes, and I guess we should add a little. Oh, are we actually gonna see somebody park there? Please, please, please. Yes, please, sir. I love you. Heck yeah, guys! This is so cool. We did it. We can do this. Maybe we should use a second or a third one as well, if they are actually parking here. That's exactly what I was hoping is gonna happen. That we have some people actually driving in and parking there properly. So, see, now after what we just talked about, I'm not sure if you're kidding or not, but then I could imagine that Sunny actually looks very dangerous in real life. Always seems like a dangerous personality in my chat already. So, I'm inclined to believe you. This obviously is horrible. Why is this car floating? Please, sir. Floating is not allowed in this cinema. But I take your trip in general has been nice. That is definitely nice, and we miss you. So also about time that you finally start blasting cities again. Honestly, you took a good moment to be away, because maybe you've heard me complain before, because I've been complaining about it a bit. The Bridges and Ports DLC, amazing DLC. The patch, absolute horrible DLC that did not deserve to get played. So really, you just flew the country while the game was not in a great state. And you came back perfectly on a timing. Now the game is fun again. So, done everything right. These all look fine. Yeah, we actually have to adjust all of these on the right side a bit. We have too many floating here. I cannot live with this floaty behavior. Yeah, I mean, Europe in general. Yes, I know London is incredibly cold right now, but let me guarantee you it's not anywhere better where I am. It's not negative, at least today, but I think we have 1 degree. So, not a big difference, but yeah, coming from 29 degrees, holy shit, that's like an actual slap in your face. If you guys see a car that is floating, please scream. It's one of the things where I'm probably a bit over perfectionist with, but I just don't like it. If the cars don't look like they're properly planted on the terrain, I think it looks really silly in screenshots. So while this is not very entertaining or fun, I do care a lot about adjusting this a little. But I think these all look pretty alright. This one also needs to get tilted a little, and even this one. I think we're very close to having this correct. in general, but that might just be a me take. I know that Germans also have a crazy reputation by it. Goddamn, some of the flats you guys have in the UK. People in Germany would literally stop paying rent and refuse to live in those conditions. And I'm being harsh here, but I mean stuff like, I don't know, mold. I've seen flats in London that have mold, and then the agency just comes and paints over the mold and is like, hey guys, we fixed it. And I'm gonna say that is only possible in a city like London, where people are so desperate for finding a flat and somehow live in that city that they are willing to take it, but try to pull that everywhere else, you're not gonna have a good time. Yeah, I would imagine that Paris probably is very similar, because it's also so incredibly popular that landlords do those things. I mean, I'm actually a bit surprised that it's not the case here as well, because some of the German rent markets, like in Hamburg, Munich, or Berlin, are horrific and horrible as well. But they are actually parking here. Okay, we're gonna add a few more spots if this works. I love this, because then yeah, we do see some usage in it. But I think in Germany we generally have somewhat good renter protection, where you actually by law have quite a lot of power to withhold rent if your conditions are not like they should be. So otherwise, I'm sure landlords here would do the exact same bullshit and try to get away with it. But I think it's a bit more difficult for them to actually get away with it here now, else I'm sure we would have the exact same issue, sadly. Okay, number 2, and then I wanted a third one somewhere, and then we're totally happy with the amount of parking. Maybe if we see that all of them see good usage, we can put another one, but I doubt we'll see that much usage. The question is, which car do we kick out? Would be kind of nice to have one here. Actually, let's put 4. Why not? We're gonna put one somewhere here in the front. Which car do we like the least out of all of these? I guess you can get yeeted. Hold on, actually we want to yeet in the front so he parks the correct way. We're gonna throw this one out instead. And we're gonna also throw... this one or this one? One of the pickups. I guess this is a more interesting spot for them to root through. So we're gonna go and yeet out you gentlemen and you gentlemen. And I don't think we'll see proper usage on all of them at all times, but even if just every once in a while, I think it's nice. And in general, we should also get more usage once we build more of the area out. What does that mean for the UK? Yeah, I mean, I actually do struggle quite heavy. Like, my body is really receptive to harsh climate change. Like, I actually, even if we just have like a 15-degree drop in Germany within a single day, I don't feel very well in the next days. Yeah, I guess you're right that the rights do make a point. I know that's also something that people from the UK never like hearing. But then, to me, the UK also always had some US vibes. Like, yes, those are countries that culturally are closer together than at least the majority of the rest of Europe. And I think you can tell in the country, and so I'm not sure you guys like to hear that. I know most British people I interact with don't like the sound of that. But yeah, to me, some of the UK does remind me of New York quite a bit, for example. And even culturally, I do think there are like some overlaps at least. And welcome in, Cuboid. I have to admit, Cuboid, I feel a bit sorry for yesterday. I hope I did not embarrass you. Keep in mind, I don't know very much about this community yet, so I had no idea who leader of Monkey was yesterday when she came in. Now I've gotten educated and I know, but I hope you did not feel too embarrassed about me yesterday. Which I would always feel embarrassed about myself, so understandable if you did, but I'm sorry if you did. Is that the bay shining through? Did they actually put something on the base now? Is that new, those newspapers? I think they changed this model. Did I never realize that? These newspapers on there, I think they were new. I believe we just had a white base before. I really like the newspaper, but sadly it's gonna be... Maybe we can try with transform tool to move it very slightly to keep some of it. That actually kind of works. Am I tripping? Guys, is this new? This is new, right? I'm very convinced that this is new. I'm not sure. I might totally be lying. Secret of what? Secret of the what conspiracy? I cannot read this word. Can you guys manage? Yeah, mysterious light sighted. We had UFO sightings in Los Vagos. That adds up. I'm pretty sure this is new. Those new newspapers, honestly. Yeah, I was trying to figure what it say, but it's too pixelated for me to figure out this word, this second word. The rest I can figure out, but not this. Maybe we'll have to investigate. I'm fairly sure that they added that newly. Now I want to see if that is... I'm surprised because this is Jay's asset. Maybe I'm also wrong and Jay gonna tell me I'm wrong. But I've never realized those newspapers before. But then I also generally sink them into the ground slightly to get rid of that horrible white base that they sadly have. So I might have always just sank them on top. Yeah, but if I elevate it, we need to move it down a bit again, so we get rid of the base. But yeah, for now we can elevate it. But for me, this, we could have read it anyways. It just that it's so pixelated that I cannot make these letters out. Secret of the Fazel Books conspiracy. I just cannot make out this word. Hi Clovis, welcome in, mate. Hope you're having a nice Friday evening. I hope you're done with work already. Yeah, we've been trying to figure out what this reads, but I cannot make it out because it's too pixelated, sadly. Maybe people on a 2K or a 4K display can figure out what this means. Me as a plebby full HD gamer, I cannot make any of this out to them. I mean, work from home never is bad. Though I have to admit that somebody who's been working a lot from home in the recent years, I actually think the very best is working from home sometimes and working from the office sometimes. But I guess that's also a luxury that's not super realistic in many industries. I guess you came in and lurked over something else. I was just saying sorry for yesterday because I made a lot of silly jokes and I had no clue yesterday who leader of monkeys is, so I did not know that I'm talking to an important celebrity. So I might have embarrassed you a little bit, which if so, I'm sorry about that. I blame it on my nationality. I'm German. If I try to be funny, then that it just does not work out well for me or anybody else, really. Like if we Germans we try to be funny, that is never a good idea. And it's also understandable because I mean, you guys know I've said it many times. In Germany, if you laugh, you go right to jail. Humor is strictly forbidden in our country. So it's not like it's on us, right? Like we just have no experience trying to be funny. So then if we try to, it is a difficult spot for us to be in. Yeah, see, there we go. Q-Void gets it. But glad you enjoyed that. I enjoy being silly. I don't mind, but I never wanna put anybody in a spot where they feel uncomfortable. So happy to hear. But it's also, this community is so big and there are so many people that like been relevant in CS1 like 5 years ago and they are still like kinda part of the community, but they've not made content or not been super active and visible in the community since I joined. How is one person supposed to understand this community appropriately? It's too many cute and amazing people to know everybody. So really, I don't think I have any blame to take here. I'm glad. Do you have a stream marathon weekend ahead as usual, Clovis? Because generally, I guess, since you found a time to stream more again, or not a time, but since you have less issues with your medicine and you generally seem to be doing better, you seem to stream most weekends again. Alright, so the one thing I definitely don't like is how open this is. And I don't know what we do about it. I guess we could actually just put a little... Yeah, I know exactly what we do about it. I take it back. But I don't want this to be such an open white circle. I think it looks a bit silly that way. So to fix this up appropriately, we're gonna do this real quick. And blast some nice green around, and then we put some cute, nice vegetation island here in the middle. I mean, okay. If I made you happy, then I'm happy as well. I like it. I mean, that's the entire reason why I went as harsh yesterday, because you know I like you, but I don't think I ever showered anybody with as many compliments as I did shower you yesterday. Because yes, I had a vibe that there is people in my chat who like it if you don't get complimented. So I had to shower you with compliments for a bit. And leader of Monkey, I know by now, is a community manager, I believe, and she used to be a modder or something in the past as well, from what I've been getting. I'm not entirely up to it yet, but I guess she modded in CS1 and then Colossal Order hired her, and she is now the community manager and been already for CS1 as well, right? Oh, she used to stream as well. Okay, never mind. But it's not new. Okay, PDX hired her, not Colossal Order. Okay, I mean, makes sense with all we've been reading lately and what we've been learning, especially since I learned about the Paradox arc thanks to Jay. I think a lot of this just makes sense and is following their brand lines, and really, I'm not that surprised about any of that anymore. Okay. I've heard about Avania before, but then, to be honest, since I'm not really active in the forums, and I guess it's where the community managers are mostly active in, I've never really known anything. I mean, weird, but also congratulations, and nice it works again. Okay, so Avania was an asset creator and leader of monkeys, but it's so curious that they both have their individual community managers, because now maybe I'm also misunderstanding. The leader of monkeys as a PDX community manager is also not only community manager for cities related stuff, but then general PDX community manager for all of their games, I guess. I don't know any of the CS1 DLCs or content creator packs, so that does not help me very much, but curious. Oh, she is specific for CS. Okay. But then I'm actually, why would they have both companies have their own community manager for the same game? Is that not weird? Maybe I'm just finding that weird, but would have expected that to be handled from the same source, at least, not saying by a single person. I get that that's probably a lot of work and multiple are nice, but I would have imagined them both working close and for the same company together. Live of you, I only heard about, oh, well, it's an ad break, so I'm gonna wait for a moment so you guys can hear what boring things I'm saying.
Bye, have a great time.
Alright, have a nice night, Gaga, and sleep tight if you can hear me during the ad break right now. But sweet dreams, and thank you for tuning in. Have a nice night, cutie. And if you, I'm not sure, because I think sometimes Twitch just says it's an ad break, but then people either have ad blackboards or it's not playing an ad break, so maybe you guys can hear me, maybe you can't. I'm never sure, but gladly, if it's easy to find for you guys, because I will forget. If you don't mind, please somebody post the Steam workshop link of Avania in my Discord, so I can have a look at the CS1 assets. I always like if I can put like a picture to a name, and I don't mean a picture as in seeing their face, but I mean a picture as in what they used to do for the community in the past. For me, that's very interesting because I missed all of that, so now I need to learn afterwards. Yeah, okay, perfect then. But yeah, then gladly, if you don't mind, post a link of that in my Discord so I remember to have a look at it afterwards. And yeah, Live by You I learned about yesterday. I've never heard about that before, and I read something that Jay said that actually sounded crazy to me. Live by You was supposed to be like a mix between Cities Skylines and Sims, if I understood correctly. Because I'm not saying that sounds horrible, but goddamn, that sounds absolutely horrible. At least if that is what the game was supposed to be, because maybe it's just me. I never played The Sims because I'm not willing to buy a game worth of $1,000 of DLCs. But yeah, I never heard about it before, and just the combination out of Cities and Sims does not sound very tempting to me personally, at least. And that game never made it out of development as well, right? That was a Paradox title, and then they... Why did they stop that? They were not happy with it, or they decided there is no market for that game? What happened? Okay. I mean, I did find it very interesting. Like, honestly, I learned a lot after the initial community reaction about the code to Ice Flake shift. I think the initial community reaction was very harsh and negative, and then it feels like the more I read about it and learned about it, the less surprising this is. And again, maybe it's just copium and me trying to be positive because I loved this game, but it really does seem like this is not like a nail in the coffin at all, but it's more PDX finally committing to Cities like they should have done a long time ago. Maybe that's just me trying to be positive and being hopeful, but I don't know. It does not seem nearly as bad as most people made it. Obviously, it can be very tragic for some co-employees, and I feel sorry about that as well. But even with that, the more I learn, the less it feels like they are gonna like throw out everybody. It more feels like a management shift, and probably a lot of the co-employees are just gonna work for Ice Flakes in the future. Again, all of this is speculation. I know nothing about this. People like Cuboid, who know a lot better than me, probably are rolling their eyes wildly right now and disagree with me. But I don't know. I really think the reception of the community to it was a lot harsher and more over the top than it's warranted. Maybe I'm also being naive and everybody else is right, but I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, that is fair that a small studio in the size of Paradox does not want to have two kind of problematic, difficult going titles at the same time. No, and that's the big point where I was a bit surprised about all of the videos, because I think what people missed quite heavily is looking at Paradox itself as a company a bit more, because something that many people have missed is both that there has been a pretty big number of Colossal Order employees that have been switching even prior to the city's launch to Ice Flakes already, right? So this is not something that happened yesterday. I don't think any of the Colossal Order members, for example, is caught off guard by this, because yes, if you have multiple of your co-workers leave to your parent company, in the past, then I don't think you're surprised that that is a development going to happen, right? And then the even bigger part is that Paradox has a like brand mission or brand statement that you should find when you Google for the Paradox arc. And in the Paradox arc, they pretty much outline that they want to integrate more and more successful small studios under their brand. They quite literally say we want to buy up small studios and make them part of PDX. We want to build up our own universe of dev studios, and then integrating Colossal Order into their brand is quite literally not a bad thing, but it's quite literally, hey, we like Colossal Order, we think it's a great game, and we want to make that part of our brand. And again, this is just speculation and maybe hopeful thinking, but it aligns with their publicly available brand statement that you can find yourself and read about if you type Paradox arc into Google, or you have a look in my Discord where Jay posted that yesterday, because I also did not know about it. I had no clue. But Jay showed this to me and I was positively surprised by it, because I do think that does change quite a lot of the angle on how you can look at it. Yeah, no, obviously. And I'm not saying I know anything. The truth is also I just like speculating. I think it's fun. I don't have the... I'm not saying I'm solving this, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm probably saying a lot of silly nonsense. But I think it's fun to speculate about those kind of things. So alone for that, I like doing it. But yeah, obviously we know nothing about this, and everything I say might as well be totally wrong. But then I also don't think we know anything bad, right? And probably Reddit is not the best place to refer to. But if you look at Reddit was pretty much entirely, oh guys, I told you, Cities 2 is dead, and now finally they kill it like we always told you. And I'm like, where's that coming from? Like, nothing in this entire communication would even remotely imply something close to that. Also something I'm very curious about, now where more people are loading back into their saves again, I noticed that quite a lot of my Anarchy components reset. I brushed over a few of them already, but I'm sure we can find more areas. And I never had that happen before in a patch. But a lot of my graffiti disappeared. I think, for example, probably maybe here? I mean, we have a lot of graffiti still, but I found quite a lot of areas where there was a lot of graffiti missing. And I needed to rebrush all of my Anarchy components over it to get stuff to reappear. So I'm curious if that is just a me issue, or if that is something other people also realize to be happening. It's nothing big, it's in general mainly for decals and graffiti, so I guess I also realize and see it more than most players, but in my city it was quite noticeable that quite a few of my Anarchy components that I put onto stuff reset entirely. Yeah, but that is part of what I think people are missing a bit, because if already they have like the lead designer of Colossal Order changed to Ice Flakes prior to the launch already, and there's a few very fundamental Colossal Order workers who did change to Ice Flakes, right? So yes, sure, if you look at their product portfolio, and they say, hey, we have extensive experience in city builders, that is a bit misleading, because then you look at their games and they only have mobile games. But then if you look at the people they employ, that is totally right, because many of those people worked on Cities Skylines for many years, right? So just because the studio does not have the right references does not mean that they don't have people employed by now that totally do have the right references. So I don't think that's entirely accurate. What happened to you? I should probably get it because you're reacting to something in the context. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yes, there is public. People have been crazy nerds and been stalking their LinkedIn heavily. And you can also just look at the Wikipedia page of Paradox. Again, if you want to see where I'm getting my sources from, all of what I'm talking about is basically linked in my Discord. It's not doxing, like it's publicly available information. So no, obviously, no doxing, obviously, don't give out anything that is not publicly available, but it's all publicly available information, so no problem using that. So people know that because they found it both in the Paradox wiki as well as looking at the LinkedIn profiles of people employed by Iceflakes. I want the 1590. Sunny, you be careful, I will dox you unless you give me one of your 1590s you smuggled over from the US. Don't mess with me, okay? I'm very dangerous. I mean, I'm actually very dangerous. I never in my life tried to hurt a person. I'm also a very clumsy person. So I tend to hurt people on accident. In fact, when I've gotten together with my girlfriend, she asked me to promise her that I will never hurt her, and I said I can't. I'm really clumsy. I'm certain I will hurt you on accident. I can promise you I will never hurt you on purpose, but then will I trip and throw something on top of you on accident? 100%. I cannot make any false promises, so I'm a very dangerous person, not in the wrong way, but you might get injured anyways. I am so looking forward to the map I've been working on. Sunny, you have not seen any of that, right? Because I have to admit, while I love Los Vagos and I don't want to let go of Los Vagos anytime soon, after I've been working on a map that's like pretty much my dream map I would like to build on, is so open, is so flat in this map, there is so much space. I think we're gonna start building two saves parallel in the future. And I know it scares me as well, but I think eventually Los Vagos is gonna be getting the worst side of the deal, and we're probably mainly moving over to the map I've been working on. And talking about that, I'm also wholeheartedly curious, do you guys find it more boring if I do map stuff in my streams than if I play Los Vagos in detail? Or do you think if it's a balance mix between both of them, and I mainly play Los Vagos, but every once in a while we do do some map stuff on stream as well. Is that something you guys would dislike or like or don't care about, or how does it look? One of the things I really hope we're getting more of is residential props. Yes, these are not little. I'm not saying we have way too little residential props. No, these are quite a lot. But these are fairly little to give every garden its own super unique individual flair. So yes, I would be pretty happy if they give us some more prop variation. I mean, you know what, Lawrence? There is one of those amazing features called Twitch What, and you can just rewatch what happened in this last hour. Because do you really think I have enough brain cells to remember what I said 5 minutes ago? Obviously not. Obviously I forgot all of that already, and I'm completely... I'm as clueless about what happened in the last hour as you are. So I'm the wrong person to ask. Maybe somebody more clever in chat can help you out. Else, what is a great idea? In fact, I don't ever advertise it or talk about it, but I do have a YouTube channel where I upload all of my VODs. And I don't think anybody ever watches there, and I mainly use it a bit as a library to make sure that I don't lose all of my VODs in future. But if you wanna watch VODs, then you can totally do so, either on Twitch or on my YouTube VOD channel. Yes, I mean, all of that is accurate. If there is anybody in my community who I would vote being very trustful and obviously never giving any false information, it's clearly Sunny himself. And no, it's not that Sunny is threatening me with violence to say these kind of things. He would never do something like that. How dare you even think about something like that? Right, Sunny? You would never do something like that. Am I not correct here? Which of these? I'm always confused with these. Some of these are like semi-transparent and they look great. And then there is others that are full powerful. This is a semi-transparent one. Okay, we're gonna place it a bit ugly here, but just so we have access to that surface without overlapping. There is one I'm looking for, but it's a bit like this, but softer. This is too soft. I think this is actually probably the one I'm looking for. It's definitely one of the overlays one, but yeah, no, all of these is not correct. Base. Okay, we're going with this. Nope. The heck? Did I lose it? This one? Yes, this is the one we want. I just want to build those some little kind of farm in the background, so they have something unique that's a bit different than what we're doing generally. And we are in our farmy area in our entire build. All of our farms are in the environment and surroundings here, so I do think it's very fitting if we go in and even give the residential housing here some nice backyard farming. Also, how fitting that the entire prettiest asset they... I need to point this out again. I'm not sure, for example, Sunny, I don't think we've seen this yet. Is this not the cutest asset they ever got them hacking added to this game? And of course, it's a sauna. That's the most Finnish thing ever. That the best asset they add to the game, of course, it had to be a sauna, because I guess Finns just love nothing more than going to the sauna. Can we manage to get these to look a bit... We're gonna close your eyes. We're totally not using line tool. You guys are seeing nothing. I would never use line tool. Horrible mod. How dare you even think I would use line tool? I would never. String light! See, Sunny, thank you. I've been my entire stream, because my English is very much not flawless. I've been calling it light chain, and every single time I call it line chain, I've been saying I don't know how the proper word is called for that in English. String light is how you guys call it. I love string light. I think they're so pretty. I wish we had this as its own asset, so we could place those by ourselves as well, but who cares? Even having a string light built into this is very cool. I mean, it's how we call it in German. We quite literally call it light chain if I translate it directly from German into English, so... If you find that cooler, maybe you like German language, because yes, for us that totally is a light chain. And also I have a question, because I use this tool very little. And I guess for making a map, I will have to use this little... Is there no way to get this even weaker than 1? Because even on a single strength, this puts a lot of plants. Like, if we take it multiple of these, for example, and we have this on 1% brush strength, this is still pretty dense. I wish I could put this even lower. Is there any setting in Anarchy or something I can do to have even less trees placed when I'm using that tool? Because it gives so little control. Like, I don't mind having to brush multiple times over a single area to get the look I want. But with this, it feels like there are so many trees coming that if I mess up for a single second, I have like 200 more trees than I wanted to. I'm not sure. We can check that. It's nothing I ever checked in the past, because it's while detailing in our build. I don't mind hand placing. I quite prefer hand placing over it. So you say in the tree controller options or in the Anarchy settings? In the tree controller. This? But they say, from my understanding, only limits how dense they can be in a specific area and not place less of them. Or am I misunderstanding this? Yeah, I would want something where I can have a strength even lower than 1, which I guess is not possible, but I would like... Yeah, I thought off is being better. And then I don't think Anarchy itself has any setting that relates to any of this. No, I guess all of this is okay at least. Yeah, not sure. I guess I will have to learn how to move quick enough around so I don't place too many things in a certain area. But yeah, not entirely optimal. I was hoping that there is a better way doing this than just being quick. I'm surprised that nobody else feels so, because I feel like even on the single lowest setting, it places an absolute shitload of trees. If you just move around and go over your map. Which I guess for stuff that is in a grass biome is not such a problem, but then for us in the desert, yes, I just don't think it's appropriate to throw down that much different things. I've heard about, yeah, but Rafterman told me about that in the past, and maybe I need to ask Rafterman about that again. Because I would like to have more control over trees than I have. Otherwise, around it's an entire goddamn map, so I don't really feel like I can just hand place everything. That is obviously a little too much for what I plan on doing. So yeah, not entirely sure what the best thing is. And since I always forget it, but I should take a bit more breaks while playing in general, I will use the ad break that is happening in 44 seconds. So I will send you guys on a quick road trip. I won't need very long. I'm just gonna get something to drink real quick and go to the toilet. So it should be like 3 minutes maybe. But I'm gonna send you guys on a cute road trip in the meanwhile, so you guys have something to look at. And I will, hold on, I will answer to why. I don't get it. You have to explain that as soon as I'm back from my break. I'm gonna run real quick, but I don't fully follow, so you have to elaborate more. I'll be right back, cuties. Alright, I'm back, cuties. And what did you mean, Jay? You meant those car props I just placed? Because if so, I have to admit, I'm not sure. Maybe we have a lot of decals, but why? You mean these two here? Actually, I don't think here is a surface or a decal. But I'm sure you're aiming for something asking that question, and I would be curious. Because I cannot think about anything where that would matter for. But I also would imagine if you ask a question like that, you have a reason that you ask. So probably you can tell me. Now they're on a decal, I guess. I don't think so. No, I have that regardless. Like, for example, the scooter that I showed you, the scooter will always float, even if we find a very flat area, which I guess here, this road is gonna be perfectly flat. Some of them float, and then I think with the cars, they are just very sensible to terrain, because they don't usually float. But they take the lowest side, right? So as soon as one wheel touches the ground, the others float, but then the scooter, at least in the past, always was floating. Yeah, see? The front wheel, I know it. I don't know why, because yeah, the back touches fine, the front always floats for me. And then with vehicles, again, I think the vehicles are perfectly fine. But then the vehicles behave in a weird way. I think we can even cheat that here with a rock. If we put it on the place on position, as soon as it hits something like this, right? Which obviously here is not correct. But if we take terrain like here, and this is not very steep, then it doesn't adjust to it, right? So now obviously the front wheels are too low while the back is entirely flying. What I do have to admit I usually forget about is that I could place all of this without transform lock, and then I could use a very, very weak brush to make them be terrain transform or terrain conform. But I tend to forget that about it and just adjust it manually. Because even that automatic brush we fit you to the surface sometimes works kinda well, sometimes does not work very well. So I feel like the best control I have if I just do it entirely manually. I mean, with the cars, again, I don't find it so bad, because with the cars, you only have to do that if the floor is not perfectly flat, right? So I totally get why it behaves that way. With the scooters, it annoys me a bit, because the scooter just always floats, so every single scooter you place, you have to reset. Maybe I need to kick myself in the ass a bit and start... Because I'm very aware that I complain a lot, but then I also don't do what I actually should do, and I don't go in the PDX forums and actually make a post about it and be like, hey guys, look, the scooter is floating, could you guys please fix that? So probably they don't even know about it, so it's my fault for not properly reporting these things as well. I don't know, I already struggle keeping up with my Discord and the Discords that I care about, so I never found the motivation to also be involved in the forum, but yeah, I totally should. Especially now, because they went out and said that, right? They quite literally said that, please guys, we want to make the game better, but please do your duty and go in the forum and tell us what is wrong so we can fix it. This is quite literally what they said in their last announcement, so I guess I should try to be a bit better with that. in the past I did not feel so motivated, because in the past it seemed like they don't really react too much in the forum. But it seems like they, and maybe I'm not sure if I understood this right, but I think they've also hired Konzi, right? Konzi / Mimonzi. I never know, he has so many names, I never know how I should call him. But it seems like he is very active in the forum, and it seems like since Konzi is more involved, they react a lot more to the things in the forum and actually also respond to some of them and seem to take more notice of it. So now it also feels a lot more worth it to report those things, where in the past it sometimes did not feel like they were very responsive to those things. And I do think then it also makes little sense to report as much, but yeah, now they seem a bit better in that regard. I guess I should try to kick my ass, and not only me, also all of my dear viewers, if you see bugs, and we all should try to help them to make the game as good as we would like it to be. And I guess part of that means we sometimes have to go in the forum and tell them about what is not great currently. For example, this, I think this is probably the first thing I report, if it's not been reported already. These meshes, please fix this. This is so bad. I still don't understand how this happened. But this is probably very little work for them to fix, because that really just looks like they did something wrong exporting the maps on this. So yeah, I actually am gonna listen to my own advice and probably gonna go on the forum and tell them about the scooter and that broken oil storage one, if that is not already reported. The question is, do we bring an entire pass around this? I actually think that is too much, so I'm gonna go with no. These want a nice entrance. I guess these also deserve a nice entrance, and we need to connect this. That already is connected wholeheartedly. These passes, I don't know how people play without these passes. This would be such a boringly detailed backyard if we would not have all of these passes through it. Now, thanks to those passes and just a few props, I think all we need to do is add a bit more vegetation in the right spots, and then this is gonna be a very cute looking backyard already. In fact, since this is a residential unit, I guess people actually put a bit more effort in this, so they also can get a bit nicer plans than what we usually give people. And welcome in, Nomis. Nice to see you here. How is your Friday?
I stream, you stream, and plop plop, baby.
Well, yes, a lot of plopping, but actually no plopping of buildings. So half plopping, I guess. No, we finally finished, or I guess at least finished to a point where I'm happy with it. This build over here, and we have our cute little, finally, it's been a long time we've been building at this, but we have our cute little drive-in theater here, where wholeheartedly Jay said this yesterday and I didn't even take notice of it. The shadow of these letters is so goddamn beautiful in the floor, especially if we set the sun a bit better. I definitely should take a screenshot where the shadow is nicely visible. But yeah, we built this cute drive-in theater, which honestly I think this turned out very cute. We built this cute toilet area over here, and finish this up and build a bit of residential nonsense back here. And now we're building the other residential nonsense here, and then we're kinda finished with this area. And I'm not even sure what the next thing is we're diving into. I actually think I'm gonna use your expertise, Nomis, because you're a big train lover. Maybe Lawrence is also still here. Dava, I think, is streaming himself, or at least was streaming himself, so my usual train expert is not around. But I need to have some advice on stations that we can take. And thanks a lot for the follow, mate. That's very nice of you. Yeah, some people walk here, not many, but it's also that because I wanted to have a bit of things happening here, you can see that we actually have parking lots in here, which is a bit cheaty, but it means that we sometimes have people drive in here and park their car, and then obviously if they park their car, they walk, but I guess it happens. And what I was gonna ask about trains is that I am trying to decide on a station that we can use in a long future down here to build another city around. And the city itself is a long way away, so that's not coming anytime soon. But I would like to take one of these stations for now, eventually later, probably replace it with a custom one. But just so I can lay down a rail network properly and bring a train down here, I would like to decide on a station. And since you're a train lover, I know you're probably gonna be like, oh my god, he wants to use an actual station and not a custom station. And you're not wrong, but you have to jump over that for today and decide on an actual station with me. And the more I look at this, I sadly, even though I think this building is pretty, I do think, I imagine this city so small that multi-platforms probably already is too big. I'm quite tempted to actually use this one, because this one is gonna be a super nice foundation for us to build our own custom station from, because it gives us very nice platforms that I like these. I think these staircases here are really pretty, for example. And we could just build our own entire front building and everything around this. I also really like this building. I think this building is beautiful. My only issue with this one is that it's a double track, and I don't love it. I think it's a bit too much for what I imagine here. What the city itself probably is, I don't yet know. And in fact, the more I think about this, I'm not even sure if we ever get to this part of the build, because I'm working on a different map that I kind of want to dive in and work on. But otherwise, I want this to be I don't think so, to be honest. Maybe, actually, you make a good point, but I don't think I can. Huh, no miss. Huh. Why did I not think about that? Why have I been so silly? Because yeah, you're right. I initially thought it's silly because then we have a platform on, like we're missing that platform here, but it doesn't really matter because we need access from that side anyway. With that, I actually agree that this is probably the best pick. This, I don't like the building much. I don't know why I even have that here. Okay, Nomi, thank you. That was all the input I needed. You just decided this for me, so we can go ahead. I might replace it with this one just because I think this is so rural that it might be the best fit. And it allows us to very easily use this and turn it into a custom station. But for now, since I just want something to connect it to, we're gonna keep that one instead. Thank you. appreciated help. Yeah, I think so. It works well. And I also think that you're probably not on the... Yes, obviously we have way less tools than what you have in CS1 to make proper tracks. But I also think you lack newest information on what tools we've gotten recently and what is possible, because there is some absolutely incredible custom station builds in CS2 happening nowadays, and I think that has not been the case a few months ago, because we did get quite a lot of more possibilities to actually dive in and make those really something individual and beautiful. So sure, not like in CS1, I'm the very first person to admit that, but also I think a lot better than it was even just a few months ago. Though I'm not as much of a train nerd as most of the people watching me, so I have to admit train has never really gotten the amount of love in my build that it actually deserves, which I'm very sorry. It's not that I hate trains or I disrespect them, I just really love detailing, and I kind of forget about trains sometimes. I think in our next build I'm gonna try to invest a lot more times into trains early on to make sure we nail them correctly from the get-go. What are you missing on control over the platforms? Just so I understand, because probably you're perfectly right, and what you're looking for is not possible in CS2, but you can have custom platforms and set them up fairly easily. I agree, yes, the tracks itself look horrible, and I'm the first one to agree with you. I also can't wait for them to give us more appropriate custom tracks. Really, I so hope that what TDW have been hinting about is true, and we get network support right away when the editor comes out. Because then all of that is very close to being there and available. If not, then probably you will have to wait a bit longer for that to be a thing. And besides this still being too empty and there not being any sims, I think this turned out fairly cute. Obviously this area is still empty and boring and horrible, but then just this drive-in theater with this lot right next to it, I think this is fairly nice. And then this one next to it to fill the space. One thing we definitely want to adjust in both of these though is the color. I don't even mind this one so much, but especially I hate the roof color. I think the roof color is horrible. Can we turn this into... Oh, these are separate, okay. But I want to try if we can turn this into some like olive green kind of metal. Something like this maybe? Do we like this? Do we hate this? I'm not sure. And with this I'm confused. I noticed this before. Why is this side of the roof shine through? Oh, it's the shadow. It's cause... But I don't fully yeah, it actually is just a shadow. This side is so dark. Hold on. Shouldn't the surface draw through that as well? Because if so, maybe we can use a Gaga surface and draw under here, and then maybe we can get the roof to be a bit more green. It does not draw over. Sad, because the roof I don't love. Everything else about this asset, 10 out of 10. the roof is a bit of a bummer. And we have wood surfaces, but I don't think we have wood decals. Otherwise, obviously, we could just throw a decal on there, but I don't think I have a great fitting. Maybe, actually, we have some wood here. No. I'm gonna look around with that. I think if we don't have one, I'll probably make a wood decal to throw on top of that real quick. And let me catch up on chat real quick. Sorry, I was focused on this. Yeah, I mean, you were correct that the heat of the platforms is really shitty, and it's also, even in the vanilla platforms, you do see a lot of weird phasing when the Sims enter and exit the train. I actually never paid attention to that in Cities 1. Are the animation looking good for that in Cities 1? If people are exiting a train, does that look flawless, or are they weirdly phasing into the platform and through things as well? Or is that a CS2 exclusive issue? Yeah, I guess your last point is exactly what I just said, so I guess you... okay. But you can set a level of heat where they enter the train. Because yes, that absolutely is an issue. I've seen many people who build very beautiful custom builds, but then, yeah, they get exactly what you're complaining about. They absolutely have people phasing entirely through their platforms, and it's not looking great. So yeah, very, very fair point, honestly. Is this... I like this. Honestly, this is way better than what we had prior. I even wanna raise this a little so we make sure we don't get any weird overlaps. But the vibe of this is way better than what we had before. So, big fan. And obviously, as always, we want to also stain this a little. One of the things, actually, where I was surprised, because I did not know how bad placing decals in CS1 is, till you showed it to me, Nomis. As somebody who loves decals so much in CS2, I think that would actually tilt me a bit in CS1 how frustrating it is to play something like stains or graffiti or something like this. Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, no, you can't really compare them, I agree, but especially you know that I love graffiti and weird art and something, and I think these especially are the worst kinds of graffiti for CS1, right? Where, yes, you can also totally do this, but what I'm doing right here, very quickly, is something that when I watch you do the same in CS2, that looked a whole lot more painful than what we're doing right here. And I was more surprised because I would imagine this probably is totally possible to do in CS1 as well. Like that less seems like a game problem than like you never had any modder in CS1 who tried to tackle that problem. Maybe I'm wrong and it's also something that technically makes that difficult to get around, but I don't know. To me, I would imagine that technically that should be possible, but it's just that nobody really ever tackled that. So who knows? Maybe that's actually something you can get like 10 years after the game has been out already, and still get it optimized and a bit nicer. Okay, and I think the very last thing we have to do in this area here is place down a few more people, so this actually looks alive, because I have been very bad with this in the past, and there's many areas that we detailed up nicely and finished up cute, and then I was too lazy to put down sims, and then I was like, okay, we can do that later, and then I never did. So we have many areas in the city that we need to revisit to place some people in. So let's try to not continue that trend and actually put people in here right away. When we build this, we generally have some in this garden already. I'm still not sure if I like the backpacks in the kits or not. I actually like that they have the backpacks now. But it seems like it's a lot more kids with backpacks than kids without backpack. Which I'm not sure if I find that correct. Yeah, something like that, for example, would totally work. But even something like asset importer, like snap to surface, isn't that something that should absolutely be doable in CS1 as well? To just make a mod that allows you guys to also snap to surface. Because from what you showed me, that's really the only thing you're missing, right? Because you can put them on the floor like you want to, but then you can't do anything snapping them to something. But as soon as you could snap, then there would not really be a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for that break. Honestly, I get most done generally in my Friday evening streams, because my Friday evening streams are generally my emptiest streams. Because I guess most people are out or doing nice things instead of being at home like me. So I have a lot less to read in chat, so I'm actually a lot quicker at doing things. Not that I ever was quick at doing things, but a bit quicker at least. I guess so, but couldn't you make that mod in a way where it uses all of the decals? I mean, you're right that maybe the building surfaces work in a way where you can't snap to them, but you can put props on top of building walls and such, right? So if props are able to do that, then I don't see why decals wouldn't be able to do so. Yeah, I guess, yeah, they are made different. But still, I guess in that case, you would just need a mod that allows you to snap the props to a wall. And then, yeah, it's in theory not a decal anymore, but it still gives you the same effect pretty much. And the more I look about it, this looks like such a cute place. We definitely need a... God damn, why do I always forget how they are called in English? I will feel even more stupid when I read that name in a moment. Is it even in the vanilla menu, or do we need to go into the custom one? We might have to go into the custom one. First things first, we place some laundry. I always forget this word. Every single time I play Cities, I cannot think about the English word for what I'm looking for. And it is a very easy English word, so I'm literally just being silly. This, a hammock. I don't know why I can never remember hammock. Yeah, I guess then that makes that mod I'm thinking about for you guys not really be an option. Because, yeah, if they're all props and they behave different, then I guess that doesn't work. Otherwise, I would have said that's probably something you can just make a mod for, and then that should work. But, yeah, I guess not possible if everything is props instead. Maybe I'm too quick, but I think
My God!
okay,
Okay,
we're
it's
done with
happening.
this.
Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay
Heck yeah, welcome in Chaos. Thank you for the raid. Hope you had a nice stream today. How has Cities been treating you today? And welcome back Clovis as well. I hope you had a nice stream. I hope you're as excited about me as about the new patch, because I know that you were also one of the people being frustrated with the horrible, unfunctional traffic and everything. But you still have bad traffic, because I don't anymore. Have you? Thank you so much, Cutie. That's very nice. And 7 months already. I guess I'm streaming since 7 months by now then. That is news to me as well. And thank you for the follow, very much appreciated. And also thank you for the sub, Chaos. But your traffic was still bad. My traffic is perfectly fine now. I was gonna say, I'm sure that you're also really happy that the game is fun again. But if you say that traffic is bad, then maybe you don't feel the same as me. For me, for Los Vagos, it seems like everything solved itself, but it isn't hell anymore, right? Because for me, in the last patch, even after letting the game run for an entire night, you guys see this traffic here, right? Like, all of this is super chill. After bridges and ports, I had a traffic jam till roughly here. It was all of this was full of cars. And I mean, yes, in theory you can, if you're motivated. I don't think many people do that. But yeah, sure, in theory you can take any building, like, I guess it needs to be a flat building, else you get in a bit of an issue. But if you have a building like this, then you would want to put a different texture on it, and yeah, just find a different texture. It depends a bit. The decal needs to be made properly for that. These are not good examples because they're not flat enough. I'm going to use one of mine as an example, even though they are obviously not what you're looking for. But imagine this would be a different surface, right? And yeah, totally. It just needs to be a decal that's very flat, so you can target individual surfaces without drawing over the windows and everything. So difficult. Alright, QD, then have an absolute wonderful good night, and thank you for the raid, and sweet dreams, QD. Maybe if you give me 1 minute still before you leave. Chaos, look, it's done. I'm finished with what we've been working on for a long time, and I'm very happy. Look at our cute theater. And by now, we even managed to get people to drive in here, because we hit a few parking lots throughout our drive-in theater. So every once in a while, here for example, we right now have an invisible parking spot. If we're lucky, oh, and look, she's just leaving. This is also a parking spot, I think. And I love it, because it actually looks like this is getting used, which obviously we're just faking. It's literally just parking lots. So is a bit faked and unhonest what we're doing. But who cares? It does work. I love it wholeheartedly. It's so cool to see people actually driving in here, and then let's see where he's going. Because I assume he's here to park. There is not much other reason for them to go there. It's super simple. I've been doing this technique a lot, and it's something that I only can always remind people of. If you put parking lots somewhere, you force people to come, right? At least if there is something in the region where they would have. Why are you not? Oh, there is another parking lot here. I was gonna ask why he's not parking. But at least if you give them a reason to come into this area with something in the area, you can get them to park. And I love it. I think all of this, especially if we turn the light off, is very cute. Now you're totally allowed to go to bed, Chaos. But I'm actually low-key proud of this build, because I think especially during the night, because the screen actually is lit up, right? Like you guys can clearly see. I think the vibe of this just turned out so nice, especially together with something like this right next to it, or this nice entrance hall here. Wholeheartedly happy with how this turned out. Also took long enough, so it better turn out nice. But yeah, seeing how all of this comes together now, I think it's turned out a very cute way. And now have an absolute wonderful good night, Chaos, and sleep tight. In fact, I'm probably not doing super long myself anymore either, since it's kinda late already. But a little, I do feel like working a little. One thing I'm curious, Clovis, have you played properly already as well since the patch? Because I asked many people today, are you all struggling with this as well, with the not enough customers? Because I don't think everybody is struggling with this. I think this is a bit more of a me problem than everybody else. Well, I feel very honored by that, Clovis. I don't think this was very difficult to build. I think this is probably a very easy to steal build if anybody wants to steal this. Just put a big, nice picture on a screen and light it up with right everywhere, and then place a few cars around it, and you have a nice drive-in theater. Oh, you're also having that. Curious, because I asked a few other people, and Gaga, for example, who also was complaining about other things, said he has not ever had this issue. So I don't know. I mean, you don't have to make it as cute as mine. You can also just leave away all of the green salad in this build, and it's still gonna be cute. I just enjoy placing salad, I guess. I don't particularly enjoy it, but then the truth is, I like the way it looks, so we have to. And I'm not sure if this is the next build we dive into, but I imagine probably, and it's something that is probably not so bad for us to end on today, because this is an US build and we don't yet have a shooting range. I think we need a shooting range, and obviously nothing nicer than while you're in the cinema to always hear people blasting their gun in the background. So I think this is a great area for a shooting range. I have never in my life shot a real gun, so I know nothing about shooting, and it's probably gonna be very obvious from how we're building this. But I looked at a few pictures on Google Maps because I wholeheartedly have zero clue about shooting, and I needed to educate myself a little on how things are looking. And I hope we can manage to at least build a bad version of a shooting range somewhere down here. I mean, I do think Los Vagos has a lot of unique things that you probably don't find in other builds. But part of that is also because most other people try to play Cities Skylines, and they try to build a realistic city that has elegant and clever traffic solutions and good infrastructure. I, meanwhile, am playing Tropico 5. I just played in the wrong game. I'm playing a dictator simulator where I build silly, illogical things that make no sense but I think are cool. So it really also comes down to me just playing the game very different than most people. Can you send me the Google Maps link of that? Because I will need to look at a few more shooting ranges. Because I have a pretty good idea now how we can build a proper place where they're shooting from. But what I need to do some research on still definitely is the place where you shoot at, right? The actual target. I don't really know how to make those appropriate. So I'm happy about any good resources on where I can look at the shooting range and steal ideas. Because you're laughing, Nomis. I think in Cities is one of the games where it's totally viable to steal good ideas. I steal good ideas all the time. When I see somebody build something good and I'm like, oh my god, that looks amazing, then I steal it. I have 1,000 things in my build where I can say where I've stolen it from. And I don't think that's a problem. As long as you give it a unique twist and you turn it into your own build, I think that's just a problem. If you literally just build a 1x1 copy and say it's your build, because it's not really. Yeah, I also was wondering. I probably don't think I want to use Right Everywhere, because I think Right Everywhere, as much as I love it, is not the best to render in small places. I think it looks worse than decals. I will probably just make a few target decals real quick. If we cannot find anything proper in the game already, maybe we need to look at the options we have, because I think there is a few options that are actually not horrible to work around as a target. But then this is what I've seen a lot in when I looked at Google Maps, and I'm again not sure how accurate that is. Probably you guys all know more about shooting ranges than I do. But I've seen that many of the shooting ranges have some kind of roof like this on top, and then they have the kind of shooting stands below here, where they are covered from the roof on top, and then we have the target somewhere back there. So yeah, so maybe Clovis. Unsurprisingly, the Americans know the most about guns in my chat. I'm not saying that is very stereotypical, but kinda. But I guess we have a gun expert here now. A body outline. We already have a body outline, because I guess it's not a proper body outline, because for a target it should be different. But we have this body outline here from the murder scene we built a long time ago. So we have this body outline decal already. So these we could use, but then again, I guess in the targets they are just standing normal. I mean, honestly, Clovis, have you ever... I don't think you spend much time on Google Maps in your streams. You talk a lot about your workplace and your environment and all of that, but maybe you have to do a stream sometime where you give us your personal Florida impressions and you just travel over Google Maps and talk about crazy Florida places and Florida stories, because I would imagine, at least for us Europeans, that would be very interesting and inspiring. I always really like it. Dava does that quite a lot because Dava knows so much about infrastructure in the world that I think Dava quite regularly has a bit of, I always call them Professor Dava streams, but where Dava pretty much just educates people about infrastructure on Google Maps. And I wouldn't have thought that I found that interesting, but I love those streams. Dava makes those really fun and interesting, and it's actually very, very educating, especially if you don't know as much about US infrastructure, so loving it. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking the same. Obviously, you would have to either be comfortable doxing yourself a little, or always have in mind that you shouldn't say anything that can dox yourself, so might be careful. But then the other way around, at least from my feeling, I would say Clovis probably is not the most caring person about privacy. I think Clovis has been doxing himself a lot already. If anybody would want to meet Clovis, I don't think it's so difficult anyways. The question is, maybe this is also wrong, but what I've seen in a few shooting ranges, and now it's the expert see, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I think Clovis is already doxing himself so regularly, it's not really a problem. But question to the Florida people over here. I've seen a lot of shooting ranges who have like two different ranges. One kind of fancy one, like this, where I guess the people who properly know how to shoot already go. And then some of them have a second one that's a bit shitty and outdoor like this, which I imagine is a bit like with golf, where if you're new and bad, then they don't let you go on the real stand yet, and you have to learn in the amateur one first. Is that a correct perception, or is that not? I mean, Nomis, that can be a fun GeoGuessr stream. You can post a picture from your balcony and be like, okay guys, who can find out where I live first? Is quite literally a doxing stream. Can be entertaining, really. I need a take on this. Is it too much to have a small one like this and then a bigger one as well? Or should I limit myself to a single proper shooting stand? Because again, in Google Maps, I've seen multiple of them that had like a shittier and a nicer place. So I imagine that we put maybe a shittier one somewhere back here. And then we have this big one that I would put very long. I would want this to actually be something where you can potentially shoot with a proper rifle as well. Okay, so that is where it comes from. Okay, it's for pistol and for rifle. So then it is correct that I say this one is kinda short and small because it's for pistols. And then it's the yeah, maybe we should have a look at Google Earth together as well. If you post links of gun ranges in my Discord as well, we can have a look at it in Google Earth together. And then another question to Nomis, because Nomis said they were shooting, or Wops I think said they were shooting on bodies. We have these from the foot. Could we use these? Are these not pretty good targets by themselves already? I guess they would need something in here where you actually shoot on. But maybe we could use right everywhere to just fill up the shape or something. But the body of this, otherwise, I imagine, would make for a pretty good. Yes, we started trying to figure out how guns work as a European. All of the Americans in chat are surprisingly coming in very clutch, educating me about gun violence. So yes, we're trying to have a first look at how we're gonna build out our future gun range. You are 100% correct. Okay, so we're gonna, just so we clean up a little, we're gonna take these 3 people here ready. Because we need to get rid of all of the signage that I placed down here to... It's my sign library, don't make fun of me, I just have all of my signs here. So in case I need to look at what signs I have available, I can go back here and look at all of the signs, but I can put them somewhere else instead. I think if you're on Google Earth, you can quite literally just copy the link from your browser you're in right now, and then preferably in my Discord, you just throw it into the map channel, or even better, the Google Earth channel, and then I have easy access to that, and we can have a look at it together. But I believe if you're just trying to copy it, then it should. And we're gonna go ahead here and already yeet out all of the signs that we think have no usage for us as a target. This one I'm gonna keep because I think this probably makes a nice entrance sign for a gun range if we go on there with right everywhere. So this one I'm gonna keep aside and move it here. Most of these others that don't make for a proper target we're all gonna remove. With these I also was thinking, would these not be kind of fitting? Because is it not nice in the gun range if you shoot against it and it kind of flips back, so you have some haptic feedback if you hit something? So I imagine if we would put a target on this, this is actually quite nice, because then if you shoot a target, you actually see it swinging. What would I do without Americans trying to figure out how to use gun stuff? I'm gonna leave them for now, because I could imagine that they're fitting. These I also gonna leave, because I guess maybe we can use those where people are aiming from. All of these can go. And with these, I'm not sure. Maybe a stop sign also not horrible if we just put a target decal in the middle. I guess all of these are too big already. But yeah, I feel like I need to look at more gun ranges to know what I'm looking for. And Clovis, I also was using the desktop app of Google Earth. I think the web version is nicer. I used to use the app version, and then many people told me that the web version of Google Earth is nicer, and I agree with them. I think it's nicer to navigate and has a bit more intuitive UI in general, so might be something you want to look at as well. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna open my browser and real quick make sure that I hide my bookmarks. And now we're gonna have a look at your link, and then I'm gonna switch source. Okay, there we are, and now you guys should be able to see it with me. Okay, so this is the gun range, and I need to understand real quick what. So this, I guess, is some of the stands where they're shooting from, right? And then, yeah, this is something that I've seen a lot as well, and I guess it makes sense. It's part of why I took the area I took, because yes, of course, you need some kind of hill where the bullets fly into, so you don't hit anybody standing back here, I guess. Yes, that makes perfect sense. That's something I've seen a lot when I had a quick look at I literally just typed Google into the Google images. I just typed gun range and scrolled through the images a little. But this I've seen very often. But we kind of have that in the terrain already, because I intend the targets to be in front of a hill. So we don't really need to change the terrain, because all of the bullets would fly into the hill anyways. Or does it matter that it's proper sand? Just a natural hill will not do the job. Do they have images we can also look at? Yes, okay, nice. Because in Google Maps, I actually find it difficult to see properly. These signs, I just deleted a sign that's very similar to this. Some of the signs we have are very similar to this. We literally just had one of those. Alright, Harrison, thank you for tuning in and have an absolute wonderful good night, mate. This is all great for me to see, because yes, this is kinda like what we just built with a roof. Maybe ours is a bit too high, maybe I need to put it a bit lower. But then yeah, they have those tables below to shoot from. Is it normal in all shooting ranges that they have these kinda U-shape, that everybody has its own kinda booth in them? Because if so, this is actually something that we can build very easily, and if that is very, I mean, Los Vagos kinda fancy. If it's about guns, of course. Our roads aren't, but holy shit, what kinda crazy weapons are these? These all look a lot more crazy and modern than I would have anticipated. And I guess this is the short one for the pistols now, right? Though this does not look like a pistol to me. This very much looks bigger than a pistol. Yeah, like what the fuck? Like this and this? Even this? What kinda crazy sniper rifle is that? That's a shotgun that looks like a machine gun to me as well. I know nothing about guns. I'm probably the worst person to build a gun range. This is how I would shoot a gun as well. Look away and probably be scared when it goes off. In the target should be... This is also very interesting, because that is super easy for us to do. We just take a few barrels. One thing I could see already is that our stand maybe is a bit too professional. Pistol calibers only, okay, that's what we've been talking about. They have a lot more different ranges than I would have imagined. At least visually, this looks like they have quite a few different ones. Holy shit. This machine gun is so big and heavy that it quite literally has its own wheels and a seat. What kind of crazy gun range is this? I mean, actually, Booty Addict wanted that or alive, but I don't think you can get him anymore. I mean, this has been educational. Thanks, Clovis. If you have other ones for me, gladly send them. But this already gives me a bit of a better idea for what we're looking for target-wise. Because actually, this sign here looks very similar to some of the ones we just seen, where you can just hang the target inside here in the middle. Oh, okay, you also posted a link. Hold on, then let me open that really quick. And let me switch my source back to Chrome. And we'll have a look at this one as well. It has the same as Clovis. I guess we shouldn't just keep the natural hill, because yeah, they really make sure that you can't shoot out. I guess this is where you shoot a pistol. Oh, and this is an actual proper... Are you shooting outside of the house? Is this the shooting stand, or are they just standing somewhere here? Yeah, I was also thinking this already looks like this is cool inspiration, but this looks very different from the American target ranges I've been looking at so far. I guess this is a shorter one as well. it's also a lot smaller in general. Unless this here is still part of it, but... Oh yeah, I guess it is. Because this back here... Yeah, okay, so I guess this is where you shoot a rifle, and the other ones are all pistol. And I guess you shoot from... here? Is that open? Yeah, okay, so you shoot from this one and this one as well. They all have a lot more different stance than I would have imagined. Like, both the one that Nomi sent as well as the one that Clovis sent. This is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the one you sent, Clovis, also had a lot of them. Okay, yeah, very interesting. So I guess we actually want to make more different ones of them. But real quick, because we can actually clean up better. Now, after I seen all of the targets, I should have looked at that before we started to delete any at all, because I think I deleted one that was kinda similar to this one. That might have also been useful for us, but all of these can go, I think. None of these seem too fitting. And I guess these actually all would work if we put target decals on top of them. And now let's try, because I think we could actually, because this roof also looks fancy, so I guess this is like the big one that is very fancy, and I think to make it very fancy, we should try to use that word U-shape that we just seen. If we just move those like this. And then we just keep repeating that. Now imagine we would already have the new Move It version with copy and paste, because then we could just copy and paste this and spam it everywhere, but I guess we still need to build it manually, but kinda like this. Is it fine that they're open in the bottom, or should this be closed here? That doesn't matter, right? It's not like anybody shoots towards them anyways. I would guess it doesn't matter. I mean, even in Germany, I guess the hunting is done, but I don't think... Well, I do think especially in cities it has no relevance. I guess if you go to the countryside, then especially in some areas, yes, shooting also is not small here, and especially hunting itself as well. But then in Germany, at least, I would say that's really a countryside kind of thing. And you will not find many people that have ever shot a gun in their life in cities, mostly. How did it work out? Could you win, Obelix? Or are you sad now? Or are you happy now? Guess I don't even need to ask you if you won or not. I quite literally just have to ask you if you're happy or sad now. And that will dictate it by itself already. Well, okay, I guess, yeah, if you played very bad but still won, then yeah, difficult to be happy about it. So I guess I didn't need to ask the question if you won and if you're happy. But I mean, at least you won. While still sad that you played bad, I guess. The win is a win. Now comes the interesting question, and it's if the alignments of this look nearly perfect. I think we can fit exactly one more here. Oh, I think this is gonna be nearly perfect for us. Let's see. And this goes into the pillar, but wholeheartedly, that does not matter to us. that's not really a problem for us in the slightest. Oh, I love when measurements like this work out. Beautiful. Because is that not pretty much exactly what we just seen in your pictures? The one thing I do think is this roof is too high. Like, we probably want to move all of this down a bit, because this seems a bit oversized for the shooting range from what we've been seeing. So that I don't think is optimal yet, but the bottom I think is pretty spot on otherwise. These we want to use, but we already have some of those there, so we can also heat them out and just clean up a little to get closer to actually building this out appropriately. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm kinda the same. Though it also depends how meaningful the game is. Some games are so important that I guess I wouldn't agree with that, and I'd rather have a win no matter what. But if it's not a super important game, then I agree. And honestly, the terrain here is pretty solid already for what we need, right? Because my thinking was that we have this hill here. So if we put the targets all in front of this, we can even terraform this to be a bit steeper. But they should be perfectly fine, no? Like, if the targets are right here before the hill, then people shoot and the bullet should all go into the hill. Because Nomi's shooting range you sent me, all of that looked like natural terrain. Unlike in the one of Clovis, where all of that looked like natural or unnatural human-made terrain. So I guess I mean, you wanna know something that you won't like? My favorite Spanish club is Atleti, so I am not rooting for you, is what I can tell you. And why am I really deleting those rocks? That's actually silly, because I don't think we want to keep this where it is. I really just want to figure the area out a bit in general, because Jay has been the entire day asking for a gun shop, so obviously we need to give this a proper gun shop and ammunition as well. I'm trying to figure out the layout a bit, because I would like to keep the terrain pretty much where it is. I need to see some... Am I being silly? Why can I not see it in this menu as well? I guess here we can do it. Need to see the terrain a bit better. I would actually like if we do something back here as well. And I guess the shooting should generally definitely paint or point away from the street. So I guess all of the shooting should go this way. Probably the very big long range rifle shooting range should be here, no? In this very long area that we have the shooting stand here. And then the targets in the very back here in front of this mountain. And then we can put the pistol ranges and maybe a second medium long rifle range somewhere here in the front. Yeah, actually, I did not even think about that, because obviously, I mean Atleti Madrid, of course. So yeah, I guess I don't care for it then. I was surprised why you guys are playing in Cup, but yeah, now that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I agree, but then I also have the natural terrain, right? So I guess I can just make use of this. instead of building it myself. I'm gonna start moving things around a bit, just to get them where I think we want them later on. This is annoying. I guess we just move the rocks with it, whatever. We're gonna take all of this and we're gonna move the rocks with it. And we bring it to where I just said. Some were back here, and I guess a little terraforming we'll probably have to do to flatten this out a bit, but in many gun ranges it also seemed like the shooting stand itself is a bit raised compared to the target, so I guess it's not wrong to have this here. Just roughly putting this here for the moment, and then in the front here I guess we can put multiple of those smaller for this task really. Has there been any more news from Yang Yang on when he plans to turn the Move It beta into a public version of Move It? Because this we build would be so much less work with having copy and paste. Because we'll build a lot of identical stuff in this. Like these shooting ranges, I'd need multiple of those. Not the end of the world, it's not so bad to build a few of those, but I wouldn't mind finding those pre-made somewhere either. I always wanted the shooting range. There's many things I always wanted to build. The problem is I'm just also really slow builder, so I generally have more ideas than what I can build out. I know there is many people who ask what should I build here. I never have that problem. I just need more time to build what I want to build. Can we use those as targets as well? While I was looking at stuff that might make sense to get shot at, is this something you could find at the shooting range? Because I guess it kind of works like a person, where you could shoot against this. Yeah, I mean, normies, the truth is we just never had that in CS2, right? So I know that's been a thing in CS1, and I guess we kinda had a shitty, unfunctional version of copy and paste for a while, but not really. Yeah, I mean, turn the alpha version into the beta, of course. But from my understanding, the alpha version only has a copy and paste feature, but nothing else of Move It right now. So it's not really like I can just switch to the alpha version and I have copy and paste. Because then, yes, I totally do have copy and paste, but then I don't have any of the other Move It functions anymore, which is not what we want. I'm gonna just put them here because I think they fit for it. I'm gonna look at a bit more shooting ranges off stream as well to educate myself a little. And with a look at the clock, I do think I'm also gonna have a look for somebody to raid out to. But we will most likely dive into building out this gun range the next time, I guess. I did not think that this is the next build we do already, but then after we build out this entire area here pretty much today, I think this is a very nice fit to have this across. And really, I always wanted a gun range, so happy to tackle this. Maybe we even dive in and build something combined, because I also always wanted a paintball arena somewhere in the city. So maybe we go in and also build paintball somewhere here. Is that ever something that is combined? A paintball arena and a gun range? I guess not, right? Because probably people shooting real guns think paintball is not anything they can like. That's probably not serious enough for them. No miss, of course. This is the true American experience. Obviously, they would be shooting while you're in the cinema, so whenever whenever you're watching a movie, you hear guns firing in the background for having the real American flair. That's part of what I want. Yeah, I guess you have a point, but I guess the paintball should be in a different location because it has a different target group. Yeah, see, while I said that guns are not really a thing in the cities here, what you see a lot in German cities are paintball places. Like there's probably 10 of those in not too far distance from where I live. But yeah, I think I'm gonna throw in a save real quick, because the last save we did is like 2 hours ago, and I shouldn't be this cocky about my game being stable. And I'm gonna send you guys on a quick road trip in this cute gentleman here, while I have a look at who's streaming and who I can raid you guys out to. I know that both Stava and Moose have been streaming earlier, so I hope at least one of them is still streaming. And then I have a nice target for you, but I'm gonna have a look real quick. None of those is playing, but who is playing and who's a very good raid is Kodiak. So easy choice. I'm gonna raid you guys over to Kodiak, who has great opinions about the game, plays the game very different than I do, but generally very nice and entertaining guy and fun stream. So I'm sure you guys will have fun over there. And as always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. You guys know, always very, very appreciated. And I will probably be back on Monday, like I usually stream, as Monday is not, I don't have a schedule, but when I can, I generally stream in Mondays, so I guess that's where I'm gonna lead to. And yes, with that, I wish all of you cuties an absolutely wonderful evening, and thanks for tuning in, and have a nice time over at Kodiak. I'm sure you will enjoy your time over there. And with that, maybe see you on Monday, maybe not, and all of you cuties, have a nice evening and a nice night. Bye bye.